Alright guys, so this is week 2 and let's try to start our class and let's try to discuss what we need to do. So I'll just go for, there are a million tabs here, so I'll just go for, okay. So last week we talked about all the accesses to the service, those services, and then I had also requested that we need to do some installation. So some of the software that should be there already. So software to download there. It was the Vmware workstation first of all, and then we needed to have this 2016 ISO, so hopefully everyone has that. And other than that, Vmware Vcenter software only download, and Hypervisor software just download, but don't install. And what hardware you should have. Okay, let me just mute everyone, guys. Please mute your mics, or okay, I'll mute for you. Alright, so that software, hopefully everyone has just VMware Workstation and Windows Server 2016 and the other software as well, which is the Hypervisor. Okay, so let's go ahead and try to discuss about our lab strategy. So maybe I've mentioned before, if I no click, you no click, right? So that was with all the, yeah. So there's a question here. Orang says, teacher, can I ask you to explain the lecture a little slower if possible? Appreciate that. Okay. So what I want to say,
not like that, but for important point, just go slow about it. I appreciate.
okay. Oh, sorry. Okay, so okay. Yeah, sure. I understand, and surely I would be going for that. In last batch also, I tried that. One student was saying, "Hey, go slow, prof." So I was like, okay. So yeah, sure. And please do ask me to repeat that as well wherever there are critical concepts. In fact, it's gonna rain critical concepts. So as VMware is the one of the most important courses, one of the, other than the cloud courses, then on premises it's VMware. So we talked about that strategy last time as well. Now what we need to do is that we need to talk about our lab, because without that, obviously if we don't do it, then we don't really understand that. So we're going to go for our basic lab, and that, why do we need the machines that we need there? Guys, did we talk last time about the lab? How many machines we will have, which machine will have which role? I don't see the diagram here, so we may not have, right? So, oh, there you go. No. So let's do this. And I'll be creating diagrams here to explain all the roles, and then we're going to start doing that. So at this start of the course, I'll be very slow. I will be going at your speed, and if you guys are responding faster, then later we can go a bit faster. And but I'm going to make sure that you understand the concepts, and that you understand all the steps that we're taking and why we're selecting one feature over the other feature. So we have to go in depth, we have to understand what we're doing, definitely. So, and you guys seemed really dedicated, just like last batch. That was a powerful batch. They really worked in a group. Some of them already passed the exams, and some of them are still passing, and good news is coming from that batch. So hopefully this batch is even faster, or I mean like more grouped together and doing all the good correct career moves there with all the critical certifications being done as soon as possible or right at the end of the course. Any material you need for that, let me know. Okay, so let's get back to we need to create our VMware lab, and we will be creating 4 virtual machines. Now guys, I need to do all this, as I understand, I need to do all this within the 16 GB RAM limitation. Hopefully everyone has 16 GB RAM. Everyone. So if anyone doesn't have it, you can just say it as well. And well, I don't have any magic solution for that, but you should have what Humber asked, right? That's the same thing that I started in last year in Durham College as well. We were doing Vmware, and half of the class had 8 GB RAM or 12 GB RAM. I was like scratching my head, seriously. Okay. So, but here normally all batches have always been at least going to that hardware configuration level. Okay, so we will be creating 4 virtual machines. Now let's talk about the roles of those virtual machines. So if we go to the most advanced and sophisticated software of all times, Paintbrush. So let's go ahead and check it out. So first virtual machine, well, okay, we're gonna go for 2 virtual machines here and set third and fourth. So what are the roles of that? Why 4? Why not 3? Why not 2? Why not 6? So, well, better not 6. So the first virtual machine will be, you know, you're gonna name it exactly. Everything will be named according to your name, or well, it will start with your first name. So we're gonna create a virtual machine there. Suppose it's oh, is there any Amir here? No, no Amir, right? Okay, so it's just me. So whenever I put my first name, please put your first name, right? So this would be our first machine, your first name VM01, right? And the roles that we're going to install there are Active Directory, which majority of you may know what is this, and DNS, and then obviously DHCP as well. And also later we're going to install software SAN here, which is storage area network, SAN, right? So anyone can tell me in one liner what is Active Directory? What is the purpose of Active Directory? Simple, right? Well, you can come on mic and say that, or you can type it. What is Active Directory doing? Authorization. There you go. Deepshika says authorization. Is that all it does, or something else?
I think it applies same policy for all the groups, something like that.
Okay. Yes. So yeah, there's in the chat as well. Authentication, authorization. One left only. Activity performs AAA, right? AAA, AAA. What's the third A? You've given 2 A's to me already. So that's auditing or accounting. So authentication, first A, authorization, second A, and accounting, third A here. So anyone can tell me the difference between authentication and authorization? Because that's the same thing the VMware Vcenter enterprise grade application also gives us. So what is the difference between authentication and authorization?
Well, authentication means that you have access to the Active Directory, I mean, within the Active Directory. And authorization is that how much you're authorized to do.
Exactly. Okay, so thank you for that. And Mamilo also says authentication, access, authorization, permissions. There you go. So this is what we need here. Actually, first of all, this is a VMware. So VMware vSphere, vCenter course. So it's gonna be vCenter that will be applied, and it's a VMware course. So what is Microsoft Active Directory doing here, right? So the thing is that in some of the companies, you actually not some majority of the companies you will have Active Directory installed there for authentication and user creation and group policy purposes. But when you deploy the VMware Vcenter, so VMware Vcenter, first of all, what is this? VMware Vcenter, and that is 6.5 version we're going to go for. Then we're going to go to 6.7 as well. So this is the central application that enterprise grade application that manages the whole VMware environment. So what is in a VMware environment? What does it control? Okay, all hypervisors. We're going to talk about that too. Visors, all VMs, virtual machines, all storage, all network, and offers lots of advanced features. Advanced features, right? So this is the central application, the vCenter, and the whole VCP-DCV certification revolves around the features of vCenter. So this is the main application that our course will be revolving around as well, and it offers central administration of the VMware environment, right? Not Microsoft environment, not Linux environment, the VMware environment. So now that's and it has its own AAA as well, authentication, authorization, accounting built into it. Like if you create a username inside a vCenter application, that's a big application. So you would have you could create your own accounts inside. You can there's your authentication, and you can give some user accounts highest privileges in vCenter, and some user accounts lowest privileges. Just start virtual machine. That's it, right? You can give that, or just delete everything, create virtual machines, create networking, create storage, create appliances. So delete, create, modify. You can give highest privileges as well. So that is all done within vCenter. So then why do we need Active Directory? Yeah. So Mamula says like VMware's OS. Yep. So that's Photon. And before that it was Linux SUSE Enterprise 11. Well, we're going to talk about that too. But yes, it controls pretty much everything, the vCenter, right? And obviously, big companies can afford that. In some small companies, suppose you're hired there, so you might see that their hypervisors are there, but the vCenter that would centrally control them is not there. So obviously, it's expensive licenses. It has expensive licenses, so medium to large size companies can afford that. Okay, so our first machine will have Active Directory, Microsoft Active Directory, because majority of the companies will have Microsoft Active Directory. And suppose you were hired there in the company as a VMware administrator, so your user account will be created inside Active Directory. And suppose, and you're a VMware administrator, right? So suppose your account is created in Active Directory, but when you are asked to log into vCenter, you just use your Microsoft's account to log in to vCenter. How is this possible? Aren't these two different products, different vendors? So we need to learn how to map, attach, this vCenter to Active Directory, so it could accept all the users in Active Directory, and then we can also give Active Directory, Microsoft Active Directory users highest privileges or lowest privileges inside VMware vCenter. These are totally different vendors, but we will know how to collaborate, how to attach them to each other, how to map to each other, so VMware could accept Microsoft Active Directory users inside vCenter as well. So that's the only purpose of installing Active Directory. Otherwise, we do not need Active Directory. VMware vCenter does not need Active Directory for its working, right? Because you can install that in Linux environment as well, right? No Active Directory there. So now DNS, obviously we will go for DNS. That's the most critical infrastructure role. Anyone can give me a one-liner on what DNS does. Suppose I'm asking you there's an interview going on, And what would you say? Okay, can you explain me about DNS? So what would you say? Host name to IP address, domain names to IP address. Okay, so in interview you would say it's a name resolution protocol, and it resolves host names to IP addresses to host names. Basically, if we want to connect to any network entity or device by name, then we use DNS. So you can just, yeah, it resolves IP addresses to host names. Okay, so and DHCP, that's an easy one. So what's the one-liner for DHCP? It does what? It distributes static IP addresses. Dynamically assign IPO on the network. Okay, there you go. So dynamically assign IPs over the network to those virtual machines which we cannot go and give static IPs to. Suppose you have 10,000 virtual machines, so DHCP would just automatically distribute 10,000 IP addresses. So then software SAN. Ever heard of SAN before? Anyone knows what SAN does? What is it? So anyone has any idea what is SAN? Okay, SAN is a storage. Okay, Minor says. Deepshika says it is block storage network. Okay, works on fiber optics. Yes, and also iSCSI. But I've heard of NAS, network attached storage. Okay, but what is SAN, guys? Like, okay, first the abbreviation. Hey, by now I would have Googled it if I were you. Okay, so what is the significance of SAN? Oh, there you go. Sylvester says storage area network. Okay. Why do we use SAN? Purpose. Give me a purpose. Why companies would purchase it in $50,000, $80,000, $100,000, $200,000, $500,000? Why? Any one-liners, two-liners? Okay, Minor says we store info in it and sometimes we boot from SAN. Okay, one of the day-to-day tasks we do. To get storage libraries from servers. Anumita says, okay, kind of, yeah, exactly. Both are very near, and or some of the functionalities of that. Anyone can tell me one error of the purpose of SAN? I need SAN because what? And virtualization environment it's not acceptable to have a virtualization environment without SAN. It's so critical, so important. For storage purpose, exactly, you're right. Okay, so I need to store large files. Oh, okay, Harpreet says that. Sure. Okay, yeah, it's SAN is for storage. We get that, no problem. So let's just talk a little more about it. And if we go for diagram here, so suppose you have these physical servers here. So let me just create another paintbrush slide here. Somebody's asking to be admitted. Okay, so what happens here is that suppose you have a lot of physical servers. So hopefully majority of you may have seen this physical server here, right? So physical server 1, physical server 2, physical server 3, right? So okay, so there are many physical servers here, right, in the production environment. So what happens is these physical servers, they need to store a lot of data. So suppose I create a virtual machine on a physical server here. I create a virtual machine and its virtual disk has to be placed there. That I'm just talking about SAN right now, right? So their virtual disk has to be stored somewhere. So virtual machine, VM. So it's like a physical machine. It works like a physical machine. It's not a physical. It's just a software. And this is a virtual disk, right? So if I need to create a virtual machine, I need to create that virtual disk on top of some kind of storage or a hard disk, right? So if there's a physical server here, I create a virtual machine, and that virtual machine has a operating system here, Windows Server 2016, 2012, Linux, Ubuntu, whichever, and it has some application here. Okay, so a virtual machine is there, a virtual disk is there. Now virtual disk is on these physical disks. These are all disks in a server. These physical disks. Suppose each disk is 750 GB. 750, 750, 750, 750, 750, right? So now what's wrong with this scenario? There could be something wrong with this scenario. Anyone can guess that what's wrong with this scenario, first of all? Can anything be wrong about it? Okay, that's normal. We create a virtual machine on top of a physical server's physical disk. So what's wrong about it? Anyone? If anything wrong about it, maybe you think that no, nothing is wrong about it. It's normal, right? Outage issues. Okay, there you go. So 1 point failure. Okay, that's very good. If
redundancy.
Exactly.
Redundancy, yeah.
So it does not have redundancy, exactly. So if this physical server crashes, it will take down the virtual disk and virtual machine with it. So whenever this physical server, suppose it shut down because of power outage or some other disaster, so you're gonna wait for this server to come up to access this virtual machine. And all the users, suppose there were end users connected to this virtual machine, hundreds of end users were connected, they're all disconnected now. So obviously that's going to be an issue if a physical server goes down. So what about if we purchase a storage area network, which is tower devices there with these disks. These are all disks, like maybe 500 GB disk, 1 terabyte disk, 2 terabyte disks, each disk. So I'm just gonna copy that. So this is HP SAN. What is SAN? First of all, it's rows and rows and rows of disks after disks after disks. Why do companies want to purchase that? To offer storage over the network. Okay, so first utility or usage of SAN would be that suppose a boss says, hey, I need actually 120 disks there, each 500 GB. So 120 physical disks in a physical server. So anyone has seen that? If you have seen physical servers in data centers, have you seen physical disks there? So how many physical disks could you have seen in a typical data center? I have seen like 32 disks maximum. One of my students was saying that he was working in data center. He said that, okay, we had a server with 65 disks, physical disk. So 65 mean the 1 row, 2nd row, 3rd row, 4th row, 5th row. He said that a tray would come out and you could just insert disks after disks there. So the boss says, no, I need 120. Or suppose the boss says, no, I need 200 disks connected to it, this physical server. In fact, I need 200 disks connected to all these physical servers. 200 in physical server, that you have to have a very big, huge server. So normally that's not going to be possible. So in that case, storage area network. We're talking about storage area network now, right? So in that case, you can deploy SAN. So what does SAN do? First of all, you need 200 disks. Okay, 1 disk. 2nd disk over the network mapping, either over fiber optic network or Ethernet network. 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you would obviously purchase here over the network on the SAN storage area network, right? So it would have devices after devices, which has just disks after disks after disks, rows and rows of disks. So over the network, either fiber optic network or Ethernet network, you could just share disks there. So in one of the banks, I was there. So we had Exchange servers there or email servers there, and each Exchange server had at least 110 disks each server. So when you log into the server, you would see a long line of disks after C drive, D drive, E drive, H drive, and then the alphabets would change to numbers. So the thing is that you can have huge amount of disks when you have SAN storage there, right? And those disks are being shared over the network. So that's the second thing. Second good thing is those disks are shared over the network. So over the network, they are called logical unit numbers or LUNs, and that is, what's the benefit of that? Oh, you have a disk over the network, and this same shared disk over the network is attached to not only this physical server, this same disk is attached to this physical server as well. This same disk is attached to this physical server as well. And then it goes on. Oh, 200 disks, or maybe 400 disks, maybe 500 disks. So there are disks after disks after disks, and these are all attached to as many servers as you want. So what's the benefit of this kind of architecture? I just created 3, right? Maybe there are 300 over the network. Each one disk or logical unit number or LUNs are attached to, so logical unit number or LUNs. Okay. So these are created for what purpose? So now there you go. These are shared disks, right? Shared disks. Okay, so what happens? This disk is over the network coming and mapped to this server and this server and this server and this server. Maybe you have 200 of these physical servers, and there's rows and rows of servers after servers after servers, right? So what happens now when you create a virtual machine? So you will not create that virtual machine's virtual disk on a local server's physical disk. This virtual disk, which is virtual or software only, so you will create that on a shared disk here. What's the benefit of that? First of all, when you create that virtual disk and you start putting data here, data, and that data is not actually being saved here in the physical server. Actually, this data lives here or here or here over the network. So as soon as somebody connects here and shares the data, that data is it's being saved here, but actually it is being over the network sent to an actual physical disk there on the other side, right? So what happens here? Now, can anyone tell me about, high redundancy. So can anyone tell me the benefit of this? Now, can you tell me the benefit of this architecture? Is there any benefit?
Yeah, we have redundancy here.
Okay, that's good. How? What happens if this happened, then this will happen. If that happened, this will happen. Can anyone tell me like this? Zero downtime in case of hardware failure. Okay, so Roger says, and Isaac. Hey, Isaac. Okay, so Dipshika says, we can attach storage in case of any hazards. No, this is 24/7, 365 attached. Once you attach it, it's just attached. Go ahead and use that. In fact, we must use it, right, when we create our virtual machines. So it would be, its virtual disk will be created here because all the data is inside this virtual disk, which hundreds or thousands of employees are connecting. Suppose it's a file server. Suppose your CEO is connecting, your directors, your senior managers are connecting. So they are saving their files and critical files. Critical company secrets are being saved here. Maybe this file size is, or this virtual disk grows up to 200 GB because of so much data. So first of all, it is very critical data. Second thing, it's a lot of data there. So critical data. And third thing, so you need security and you need high availability. Okay, so Sylvester says Vmotion and Storage Vmotion. Exactly, we're going there. So the benefit is that, again, suppose we'll talk about that same thing. The physical server crashed. So the data, the critical data was never there on the local physical drive of the physical server. The data was here over the SAN. So first of all, your data is safe and can be available right away in another physical server as well. So what happens is there's a feature called HA, and that is about HA in VMware is, well, we know that it is high availability, right? So so data is always available. Yes, that's the main thing, redundancy. So the thing is, in HA, in VMware HA, what happens that physical server goes down, virtual machine was loaded on RAM, right? Every workload is loaded on where? RAM. So as soon as the server goes down, RAM is not available. Virtual machine has a downtime in high availability of VMware. It has a downtime, it shuts down, and it is at once, HA at once restarts it on the RAM of another server, another physical server. So this virtual machine will be restarted. Yes, effective disconnection. Effective disconnection and zero downtime, and it's not zero downtime, sorry. If the users are disconnected, obviously there's a downtime. So the downtime just is that the time which it takes to restart on the other server. So it loads on the RAM of the other physical server, but the virtual disk is actually living here. And as soon as the machine comes up back here on the other server, it is just attached to that same virtual disk, which was never on the local disk. It was over the network on SAN storage, right? So the virtual machine just starts here. Now, why this virtual machine after restarting still gets to connect to its virtual disk? Because it's on top of a shared disk or LAN that is coming from over the network. Now, this shared disk is not only attached to the crash server, it is also attached to the other server that is up and running. It is also attached to the servers that are there. So wherever the HA decides to start the virtual machine on whichever other servers that did not crash, that are still powered on. So this LAN or shared disk is attached, same disk is attached to the other three physical servers as well. So that's why when virtual machine started on any of these servers, restarted, so it will still have a connection to its virtual disk, or as you said, shared storage. So that's one thing, right? So that's why virtualization environment is incomplete without a SAN, or if there's a budget constraint, then NAS solution. SAN is storage area network, more expensive, more reliable, more redundant, and NAS is NAS, so it's network attached storage. That is cheaper, less reliable, slow, network attached storage, right? So if you small companies would go for NAS, and it would not afford let you use all the advanced features of VMware. So SAN, either physical SAN would be definitely very expensive. So there are software SAN as well for those companies who cannot afford that, and there's ultimately another feature in VMware called vSAN as well. So we're going to talk about that too. But so we understand first thing that, hey, okay, so SAN is a remote storage from which the disks over the network are mapped to all the physical servers. And when we create virtual machines, we actually create virtual machines on top of these shared disks. So when we save anything here, it's actually being saved on over the network onto those disks here. And these are all highly available. Well, when the company spends $80,000, $100,000, $200,000, so obviously they better be highly available. So that's how SAN is working. And we talked about high availability, but obviously VMware is famous, and 80% of the world's companies' data centers have a VMware platform. So there is another feature called FT, which is called fault tolerance. So when I talked about high availability, and I said that there will be the virtual machine actually will shut down and users will be disconnected. So that's not a zero downtime then. There is a downtime, right? Users are not connected for some time, right? But how about, does VMware actually offers a solution where there is zero downtime? If a crash happened, all the end users connected to a virtual machine will not even know that the crash happened, while the whole physical server in the background went down. So is there a solution where users are working, and they have no idea that in the background server crashed and actually their work was failed over to another physical server? So there would be a slight frozen screen there for them for a few seconds, and that's it. So that solution is called fault tolerance. And in that solution, what you do is you create a partner virtual machine on another server, and obviously its virtual disk is still created on top of a shared disk or LUN or logical unit number, right? So what happens is, okay, I need to create a virtual machine then here as well. Suppose you create a virtual machine that is using the RAM of this server, and this virtual machine is using the RAM of this server, while this virtual machine's virtual disk is on a shared disk or LAN. So, oh, okay. There you go. So, what happens is this is an active machine, right? And active VM, and this would be passive VM. Passive VM or standby VM, we can say, right? So what's the job of active VM? What's the job of passive VM? Anyone can tell me?
Active VM, which is currently through which we are attached or we are storing our data, and passive is the standby, like virtual machine. When the active one downs, then the passive one will be active at the same time.
Okay, that's excellent. That's one thing. The other question that arises from this, okay, passive VM is waiting for any disaster to happen on active VM, and then it will become active. But during the meantime, suppose the disaster never happened for 3 years. During that 3 years, what else is passive VM doing other than waiting?
I think they will share the load.
No. Yes, that is possible with active VM, yes. But active passive VM, no. What is passing doing? Oh, there you go. Syncing. So, Dipshika says that syncing. Exactly. Whatever is happening on the active VM is being synchronously replicated to passive VM. Oh, what is that word I said? Synchronously what? So synchronously replicated. Oh, what does that mean? In fact, there is another one, asynchronous replication, and then there's synchronous replication. So, but first of all, what is the meaning of that? Synchronously replicating. So synchronous replication is, everyone knows already, same time replication, same time REPL. Oh, no, it's not reply, REPL. REPL is replication, right? So synchronous replication means that, oh, okay, Sav knew, but I just said it. Next time I'll wait. Okay, so same time replication, what is this? So so end users are always going to be connected to active VM, right? Passive VM, they cannot connect. So whatever changes, modifications are they doing is it will be going to the passive VM. Passive VM is copying everything in that speed of same time replication, which means that the changes are being written here, and at the same time they're being written here as well. So definitely when it's updated to the last second, if disaster happens, so what will happen is it's going to fail over to the passive machine, which is already updated, and the failing over will happen in seconds or milliseconds, well, seconds, and it will become active machine, and so all the end users will be redirected automatically to this machine. So they will, suppose they were clicking or they were doing some work and they click, the screen will be frozen, and then all of a sudden it's just working fine. In the background, the whole physical server went down, and the active machine on it failed over its services to the passive machine, and passive became active, everything happening in seconds, right? So that's zero downtime. That's where we can safely say that this is zero downtime. HA high availability does not offer zero downtime, but this offers zero downtime because there's an active and passive partner. Synchronous replication is also same time replication, and it requires a lot of bandwidth, and it offers 0 data loss, and there is 0 downtime if there is a crash that is happening. 0 downtime, 0 data loss, right? Okay, a question from Sylvester. Is the passive VM still powered on even when the active VM is functioning? Well, the high availability functionalities of different vendors have different setup there. Some vendors keep it off and it's just copying, and some vendors keep it on and it's still copying. It's inaccessible by end users, but it's on. So here normally it is on in VMware. So, but you cannot connect to it. So, so this is fault tolerance. So it can sync even when the VM is powered off. Yes, yes. In some high availabilities, different vendors, Linux, Microsoft, they have different type of configurations there. So Windows says it creates real-time backups, not the actual data. Yeah, so when you say real-time backups, those would be the data that is actually accessible when it becomes active, right? So the thing is, if it's accessible data, because when you say backup, so backup is another full process where you have to restore, you have to change its format to something else to make it readable, right? So but the data here, as soon as it fails over, it's just reachable and it's accessible and it's usable data. And it's all few seconds of failover that lets you access data here on active VM, which is a new active VM. Right, guys, so we understand that SAN storage is over the network. Shared disks are available, and shared drives are called LANs, and those LANs are attached to all the physical servers, and for the purpose of high availability and fault tolerance. And the third thing that somebody already mentioned here is the third thing is Vmotion. So it is available for the purpose of Vmotion as well. And what is Vmotion, anyone? Okay, so Safe says, what prevents servers sharing the same media from conflicting data? Well, normally that storage is has its own conflict resolution mechanisms there, if data is corrupt here, obviously it's gonna be it's the same data that is being simply copied there, right? So the conflict resolution has to be on this side, and otherwise it's just a simple copy pasting going on across the node on a very fast speed. Okay, so here, guys, anyone knows what is Vmotion? VMware feature of Vmotion, what does it do? Some of you may have heard it. Moving VMs from one ESXi host to other. Migration. Okay, so yes, Vmotion is that your virtual machine. Now this is an independent virtual machine here, and suppose this is a virtual machine that is using the RAM of this server here, right? So it's loaded on the RAM, it's working. There are so many end users that are connected, working. So all of a sudden, you start getting tickets in the company that hey, I'm connecting to this server here, and when I'm opening the file, it's opening very slow. When I save the file, it's saving very slow. So everything is very, very slow, and it's unacceptable. So then you go to that server through vCenter and check that, oh, this server here has very less RAM available, very less CPU available, because there are so many other machines and it's a peak time, very busy time in the office, and everyone's using all the virtual machines that are there. Suppose on this server there are 10 virtual machines, right? So this virtual machine is so slow that users are complaining a lot. In that case, so you realize that, oh, okay, because of so many virtual machines during peak times are using this RAM and CPU, that's why this particular virtual machine is generating complaints, or the users using that are creating complaints. So you decide that, okay, I need to migrate this virtual machine right now while it is working, while users are working on it. I need to migrate this machine over the SAN to another physical server or a host or hypervisor. So you can do that thanks to Vmotion feature. So you can move running, powered on, and remotely connected virtual machine from one physical server in the LAN to another physical server. Even now, you can do that on a WAN as well, wide area network, which is a much slower connection. Obviously, if it is faster and it has 100 millisecond latency, only then. So the thing is that Vmotion is you move or migrate a running virtual machine from one physical server to another, thanks to SAN. Because virtual machine contents are loaded on memory, which is a very small data, its virtual disk never moves. Only virtual machine moves from at once, moves from one RAM of one server to a RAM of another server, while the virtual disk never moves. Why? Well, first thing, this virtual disk is on a shared disk. That shared disk is attached to this physical server, and that shared disk is attached to this physical server as well. So when virtual machine moves away from this server and reaches this server, it's still connected to its virtual disk. And the good thing is virtual disk doesn't have to move. If the virtual disk has to move, maybe it is 200 GB, maybe it's 400 GB size. You know, there's a lot of data here normally, so they do grow in size. So if you had to move a 200 GB virtual disk over the network, that's going to take few hours. So virtual disk should not move thanks to SAN. Only virtual machine with its memory contents move from over the LAN from the RAM of one physical server to the RAM of another physical server, and that's how Vmotion happens so quick. So those who were complaining, so the administrator found out that, hey, yeah, this physical server has a lot of RAM and CPU. Let me just migrate to this particular server. And when the administrator moves this virtual machine to this physical server, then all of a sudden user says, oh, now we're good, and files are opening fast and saving fast, thank you, admin. So and that was resolved in what, a few seconds, so, or maybe 5 or 10 minutes, investigating and then moving the machine. So if you have set up Vmotion there, then you can migrate a working machine from one hypervisor to another. And the only reason you would use Vmotion, if there's a degradation of performance. Okay, Xiang says we large amount HDD for physical server in case we use vSAN. Yes, vSAN. If your company cannot afford this expensive SAN, then your company can go for vSAN that is created on the local disks of minimum 3 hypervisors or hosts. So we're going to talk in detail about vSAN as well. Anumita says, what if Vmotion fails while migration? Will the data already migrated be already there, or will it start all over again? Yes, it's going to fail back and start all over again. So it has to then fail back, and it's a very small amount of data that is actually moving. The virtual disk never moved, so that data can just move back as well. Okay. So guys, when we're talking about SAN storage, it has so many benefits there, and a virtualization environment is not complete or unacceptable without either a actual SAN solution or a software SAN, which is cheaper and slower, obviously, or a vSAN that is also a VMware feature for those companies who cannot afford to go for a very expensive SAN solution. So that's just a explanation of the benefits of having a storage area network, and how important a SAN is to a virtualization environment. I'll just copy it to this OneNote, where it will be shared on your OneNote in 10-20 seconds. So if we go back to from this diagram to actually our previous diagram, where I was saying that, hey, we're going to install our software SAN. So now we know that it's so critical that we have to configure it on a Windows machine, and then we're going to offer it to our VMware environment. So how to configure software SAN, that also we will do here. So we will have Windows Server 2016 here, and we will have Windows Server 2016 here, and this will be a domain controller, obviously. So this one would be a member server. So guys, we're gonna configure it all very carefully, because the rest of the course we're gonna start building up on top of these 4 machines all our advanced features of VMware one by one, right? So these machines have to be configured very carefully, and obviously one small mistake can cause a lot of errors later or right away. So that's why I'm saying that famous Einstein saying, or Shakespeare saying, if I at knoweth clicketh, you at knoweth clicketh, right? So well, that time I think it was at used at the end of the English. So here now we would go for your first name VM02, and that would be named your first name VM02. Then we come to, so we understand the roles of 2 machines here. First machine is critical. It's the, just like oxygen is really critical for us, this machine is offering us infrastructure services, DHCP services, and the most important DNS, and obviously the other next important is SAN. So this machine must stay up all the time during the lab. Other machines, I'll be asking you, okay, shut down this one, change the RAM, or start this one, or keep it shut down for the duration of next 2 hours. So we're gonna keep shutting down, powering on these 3 machines because of different features requiring different RAM and CPU. So within 16 GB, that's really limited. But I used to think that with 16 GB laptop, VMware course is impossible. I've been teaching that on 32 GB laptop. Even then it was slow. So in 16 GB, then the colleges made me do that. They forced me, and I had to then come up with all this. And when it was successful, so that was a good stunt. So only one lab you guys will not be able to do, and that is vSAN, which is also a very critical lab. So I'll be showing you a demo of that on my 32 GB laptop. Otherwise, a 16 GB laptop, you can pretty much do everything. It's just gonna be slow. Okay, so yeah, we talked about the first machine's role, and then the second machine, very critical. Obviously, it will have your most important prize, and that is vCenter. The whole VCP-DCV course revolves around vCenter, so that will be on machine 2. So that's why these 2 machines are very important. What is the purpose of the rest of the machines? So this machine will have VMware ESXi Hypervisor. ESXi Hypervisor. Normally we call it host. Hey, how many hosts you have? Suppose you have installed ESXi Hypervisor on top of 200 physical servers. So the boss would ask that, hey, how many hosts we have total? So you would say we have 200 VMware hosts. So we normally call it host. That's it. But it's ESXi Hypervisor. So when we say ESXi Hypervisor, what is a hypervisor, and what's the big deal about that? Any big deal at all? And why would we need to have 2 hypervisors instead of 1? So then starts the discussion of what is a hypervisor, why do we need that, ESXi01. So the machine name would be obviously your first name, not my first name, your first name is ESXi01, and your first name. So all your labs, so I'm going to ask you for 10 screenshots total, and in one lab there will be just 10 screenshots. But when I say, hey, take a screenshot of this screen, then you will take the screenshot of that screen. If that screenshot is not there with exactly those configurations, but your name, obviously then no marks, or low marks or no marks, right? But anyway, the thing is, this course is supposed to be job oriented, so our emphasis is we learn as much as we can to get a better job sooner. Okay, so we were talking about what is hypervisor. Okay, so that question, anyone has a one-liner for hypervisor is, oh, okay, there you go. So Deepshika says it is to communicate and access to physical server resources with virtual software. Okay, that's good. Anyone else? So what is a hypervisor? Is it an operating system or not? So there is OS here, OS or operating system, and then there's a hypervisor. So what's the big deal here? Why is hypervisor directly being deployed on top of a hardware? Okay, so Mahinur says administrative tool which allows you to handle and manage the VM. Yes. Gabriel says it is used to convert physical system to virtual system. Okay, and manage VM. There you go. Esx says. Okay, so is hypervisor an operating system? Well, that's another question. Is hypervisor an operating system? Okay, so Russell says hypervisor is used to provision resources from the hardware or server for the VMs running on the hypervisor. Okay. So yeah, hypervisor. There's only one purpose of hypervisor. What is that one purpose? Or we can say 1.5 purpose, or maybe 2. The one purpose is, Harpy says it's software which connects hardware and VM. Okay, yeah, you all are right. So hypervisor, its only purpose, its main purpose is to host VMs, virtual machines. It's not to host DNS, it's not to host directly DHCP or web server or anything, but whatever's inside the virtual machine, yes. So directly, its main purpose is to host virtual machines and to use full capacity of the hardware. What does that mean? To talk to hardware on behalf of VMs. Well, you want to say it anyway. So the main thing is that its main purpose is to host virtual machines, and also let virtual machines use all the hardware and to its full capacity. Now, when we say it allows you to use hardware on its full capacity, so then there is also okay, let me just create that. There is hypervisor 1 and there's hypervisor 1 and there is hypervisor 2. Maybe you know about that too. Hypervisor 2. So hypervisor 1 is used in professional environments like companies' data centers, right? Is directly installed on top of a bare metal machine. On bare metal machine, we can say. On bare metal. What is a bare metal machine? Just a hardware, right? No software other than the hypervisor. So it is directly installed on the hardware. Is directly installed on bare metal machine. Yeah, reduce hardware, that's another purpose. Okay, so hypervisor 2 is used for training purpose. Is slow. Is installed on top of an operating system, OS. Oh, wow, okay. So hypervisor 1, we understand now what is that, and hypervisor 2, we understand what is that. So any examples of that? So hypervisor 1 would be VMware's hypervisor 1 would be many companies, few companies have released that hypervisor. VMware is a pioneer in that. So VMware has released a hypervisor named ESXi. Its hypervisor's name is ESXi. It's a small software that you install directly on suppose you just purchased a new IBM server, Dell server, or HP server, right? So you just installed it now. You just purchase it now, and when you just put it in front of you, then the boss says, hey, put that USB, bootable USB or DVD there if they have a DVD. Then just boot it from it and just deploy this hypervisor directly. Okay, So then you remotely connect to that and create virtual machines on top of it. So VMware has released the Professional Hypervisor 1, which whose name is ESXi. Microsoft also has released a hypervisor whose name is Hyper-V, its rival. And Citrix has also released that. Zen Server. Red Hat has also released that. KVM, right? Yeah, it is KVM. So, so these are the four vendors that have released the that hypervisor 1, which is professionally used in companies' data centers, and it gives huge performance because overall this hypervisor uses, or hypervisor 1 uses, very less RAM, very less CPU for its own working. Very less RAM, very less CPU for its own working. It's a very light software, right? So Hypervisor 2 is used for training purpose, is slow, is installed on top of an OS. So VMware has released its Hypervisor 2 as well, which is called, which we're about to use now, VMware Workstation. That's actually a Hypervisor 2 because it's just for training environment. Microsoft has also released that, and it is called, again, Hyper-V. So Hyper-V can be installed directly on a bare metal machine or an empty hardware. It can also be installed on an operating system as well, right? So Citrix Zen Server is also the same, that you can deploy both ways. So when we say hypervisor is fast, why is it fast? Hypervisor is fast. Because, well, it uses very less RAM and CPU for its own running, right? So the rest of the RAM and CPU is available for the virtual machines that it is hosting, right? If you install a hypervisor on top of an operating system, is that possible to install, Jiang says, ESXi without an OS? That's exactly is possible. Without ESXi is installed without an operating system. So you can install ESXi on top of a hardware, on top of an empty hardware. But VMware Workstation you cannot install without an operating system. If you were talking about VMware Workstation, ESXi is exactly doing what you just said. It gets installed without an OS. ESXi, VMware, gets installed without an operating system. VMware ESXi is installed on top of an empty hardware, right? Okay, so here, cool. Okay, so when you install VMware Workstation on top of an operating system, and then on top of that you start installing virtual machines. So VMware Workstation is a hypervisor 2, and it has a virtual machine number 1, 2, 3, 4, and then here it is hypervisor 1 ESXi, and you install virtual machine 1, 2, 3, 4 here. So what happens is that here there's RAM, CPU, HDD, network, right? These are the four things that are used, and here also RAM, CPU, network, this. So ESXi is a light software. It uses very less RAM, less HDD, less network. So the rest of the RAM is used by, so now this is the virtual machine, right? So this is a VM, right? So VM has what? VRAM, virtual RAM. It has a virtual CPU. It has a virtual HDD or hard disk. That's it, right? And it has a virtual NIC, network card. So those virtual hardware, the VRAM, vCPU, VHDD, VRAM will ask, hey, physical RAM, can I have some portion of you? So suppose that RAM is it's 1 terabyte RAM. That's huge. It's thousands of dollars, 1 terabyte RAM itself, right? 1 TB RAM. So all the virtual machines, so suppose this virtual machine has a file server and it says, hey, I need for my own working 32 GB RAM, thank you very much. And this says, oh, it's a database server or SQL server. Hey, I need for my working at least 64 GB RAM, 64 GB, right? This is a web server and it says that I need for my working maybe 128 GB. Actually, database needs more. So 128 GB RAM. So 32 GB RAM will be shared from the physical RAM. 64 GB RAM will be shared from the physical RAM. 128 GB RAM. If you have enough physical RAM, all these virtual machines will be working fine. They will just get what they were assigned RAM. So when you're creating a virtual machine, you assign, okay, you will get 64 GB RAM. So it will then check from hardware, hey, through the hypervisor, hey hypervisor, can I have that much RAM currently to run? So hypervisor tells hardware, hey hardware, can you arrange that 64 GB RAM? And the hardware arranges that. So hypervisor, on behalf of the virtual machine, requests that from the hardware. So the thing is that this hypervisor is very light. Because of that, for its own running, it does not occupy a lot of RAM. So all virtual machines are much faster in a hypervisor 1. Hypervisor 2, operating system needs a lot of RAM for its own running, right? So when then Vmware Vcenter gets installed, then the virtual machine gets whatever is remaining from the usage of operating system. So it is heavy, it has a lot of code. Why operating system is heavy? Because operating system also offers DNS, it also offers DHCP, it offers very long list of features here. Hypervisor offers, hey, I can just host virtual machines, that's it, done. Here, operating system, it offers so many built-in applications there. Or if you just install server core, that's another thing, that's just command prompt based. That would be light, right? So I hope we understand that what is hypervisor. First of all, hypervisor, its main purpose is to host virtual machines, to use full capacity of the hardware. Full capacity because you keep on loading virtual machines, so obviously your capacity of the hardware will be full. RAM will start saying, hey, that's it, I don't have more RAM here, so can you stop creating virtual machines here? Or CPU will also saying, processor, that hey, I don't have enough processor. Hard disk will say, network will say, same thing. So you can use full capacity of the hardware. To talk to hardware on behalf of VMs, yeah, that's what hypervisor do. Hypervisor 1 is used for professional environment. Hypervisor 2 is used for training environment, non-professional environment, right? So hopefully you understood. Any questions on this? If you understood, then it's okay. Otherwise, you can ask questions.
Sorry, one question. So always we need to have two hypervisor, 1 and 2?
So
anyone. So why you mentioned 2, 1 and 2? Sorry.
Yeah. So these are just the types of hypervisors, and according to our situation, we will use whichever we can. So if we were in the company, and we will use ESXi. If we are now in the lab, just testing something, so we're going to use hypervisor 2. So according to circumstances and budget, we're going to use. So there are just two types I was saying. We don't have to use both at the same time, but here in this course, yes, we're going to use both during the course, because we need to learn about ESXi, but we need to have a training software in which we can install ESXi. So we're going to have this training software to help us learn about how ESXi really works. But when you install that in a physical server, in a production environment, in data centers, obviously, so you would know how it works. But here, when we install, it's very near to how it is installed and worked, and all the advanced features work there in production environments as well. VMware created that VMware Workstation because in order to let us learn very easily very advanced concepts of VMware as well. So we're going to see that we will use both, but in production environment you only use ESXi. In companies you only use ESXi. Okay, Olatunde says, is there option of hypervisor 1 cluster on a server in event of failure? Hypervisor 1. Yes, hypervisor 1 vCenter offers clustering feature. So clustering feature is all about that you group together 16 servers, 8 servers, 32 servers, 64 servers, and then if there's a failure in one physical server, its virtual machines, servers' virtual machines are distributed among all other working physical servers or hosts or hypervisors. So yes, there's a feature, cluster feature is there in VMware. We're going to install that feature. We're going to test all the advanced features there. And says would a Hyper V2 running on a core server be as efficient as Hyper V1? Well, Hypervisor version 2, well, Hyper-V, if it is on a server core, then it is going to perform as Hypervisor 1. If it is on server core. If it is on a GUI, then it's going to perform slow, obviously. So Hyper-V, the way you want to install. When you download a free version of Hyper-V, which is just Hypervisor, so normally it is the server core plus Hypervisor, and they call it, hey, this is Hypervisor. So it's just Hyper-V installed on top of a server core, which is handled by command prompt. Okay. Alright guys, so let us go ahead and oh, I do echo as well, don't worry. So that diagram was there. What else? Oh, that's 2 diagrams. So now we understand that we will be installing the actual hypervisor that is used in a production environment. Obviously, otherwise how can we learn Vcenter? Vcenter only works with these ESXi hypervisors. That's the first thing. Second thing, why do we have 2? Why can't we just install 1? Anyone has an answer for that? Why minimum 2? That's an easy one actually. Why do we need 2? We have limited RAM. We can just install 1 as well and do all the labs, right? To check different features, yes, HA especially, exactly, like Vmotion, yeah. How can Vmotion on one server? Load balancing, failover, FT, DRS, there you go. So it's raining all the features, definitely, that's it. So we need minimum 2 to test any feature. Well, all the advanced features. So we need minimum 2. So if you want to Vmotion, you have to go from this server to this server, right? So you need 2 for that. Fault tolerance, you will fail over from this server to this server, or from this to this. So you need 2. So that's why 2. Right? So we have talked about the 4 virtual machines that we are about to create now. So we're gonna start creating. ESXi can run. There's a question. ESXi can run without OS. Yes, Cheng, ESXi can run without OS. That's the specialty of ESXi. ESXi only runs without an OS. So it is that, right? So let's go ahead and yeah. So well, Chang, when you say ESXi runs without an OS, so let me just explain that, because there's a bit of confusion here as well. ESXi comprises of okay, let me just say ESXi 6.0 until 6.0 we can say, right? So let me just add that too, because I think that's the second time you've mentioned that. So yes, there is something to it. So until ESXi 6.0, the OS, not IS, OS, it was working on was Linux SUSE Enterprise 11. So until ESXi, so ESXi is composed of basically a Linux flavor, which is called SUSE Linux, right? Maybe some of you may have heard it, some of you may have used it as well. Any Linux guru here, Linux? Anyone has experience in Linux environments or somewhat use Linux, Ubuntu, Unix, or any kind of Nix? Anyone has used any kind of Nix? Little bit. Okay, Deepshika says little bit. Okay, so that's it, right? Nobody? Hey, aren't you learning Linux from that AWS professor, right? Oh yeah, so he wrote Linux books, so he's a macho guy. That's very good. Oh, little bit. Okay, Red Hat. Yeah. Okay, so what it says that how ESX is different from ESXi. So ESX is the earlier version of ESXi. ESXi has more features. ESX is the earlier version of that, and well, there are differences, but definitely older version was called ESX. Then newer version is now called ESXi. Do we have ESX? Okay, let me just go and clarify that by going to ESX 6.7. Oops, why did I put C? ESX 6.7. Do they ever call it? Yep, it's just ESXi now. ESX used to be the older version. Okay, cool. So I was just confirming that maybe they came up with hey. So guys, until ESXi 6.0, the OS it was working on was Linux SOSI Enterprise 11, and then from ESXi 6.5, 6.7, 7.0, it is Photon OS that it is built on. Photon OS, it is part Linux and part what? It is part Linux and part VMware code, right? So they created their own OS, so they don't have to rely totally on another version of Linux. They create their own, so their team just does updating on that, right? Yeah, Sylvester says ESX was until 3. Well, until you can say 4 point something, and yeah, by 4 it was done, and by 5.0 it was, other one. Okay, cool. There you go. Okay, guys. From ESXi 6.5, 6.7, 7.0, it is Photon OS. It is part Linux and part VMware code. So before that, yes, Zhang was saying that does it work on an OS? Chang, sorry, that's it. Chang, sorry. So Chang says that. So yes, Chang, it is on Linux. It was on Linux OS, and so this means that VMware was dependent on when the Linux SUSE team will release the updates and patches, and then they will get it here as well. So they just came up with their own OS that they will release patches for and maintenance and management of. So they would just VMware would be now responsible for their own OS. Okay, so that said, so that's mucho importante. That's wrong Spanish, I know. So, or muy importante. So it's very, very important, right? Okay, we talked about that as well. And, well, since we are mentioning that, so there's some tussle going on between, okay, actually, you know what? We're going to talk about Vcenter in detail anyway. So at that time, I will tell you that Vcenter features more, before it was more Windows based, now it's more towards Linux based Vcenter. So we're going to talk about that, but right now what we need to do is we need to start creating our lab because it's already some much time left, well, so much time done, but obviously without critical theory we can't go ahead as well. Now let us go ahead and create our initial environment here. That is your first name VM01, your first name VM02, and we're going to name it like that. So there are some configurations we need to do quick. So we're going to create our first virtual machine inside VMware Workstation, and hopefully you have the Windows Server 2016 ISO already there with you, and you can just totally follow how I'm doing that, and hopefully we will all be able to install that. So we need to install this first virtual machine. We're going to carefully give the RAM and hard disk and networking for that. We're going to customize it. So That's why I said that just download the 2016 OS and don't actually configure it or don't install it yourself. Okay, so let's do that. So there are 10 screenshots for every class, and I'll be asking you, hey, take a screenshot of this one. Hey, take a screenshot of that one. So let's go to our lab. Also about screenshots. So 10 screenshots per class. And also if you, maybe I said that before, if you need assistance in every third or fourth step while you're watching and you still are kind of confused that what am I doing, okay, I'm here to help, right? But if you are like going to need assistance at every third and fourth step, that please stop and tell me where are you, and then please stop again, please stop again, please stop again. So we won't be able to do big labs there, obviously. So what I suggest is then watch the video, watch us and doing the lab step by step, and concentrate on and understand. That's the main thing. If you don't understand, suppose you did a 4-hour lab with me. At the end of the lab, if I ask, hey, what did we do, and you're like so that means that the whole 4 hour wasted. Click is not the purpose of coming here. Do you understand what we're doing and why we're doing, and what's the best practice in production environment, in companies, right? So if you're too much confused in lab and you're unable to understand then all the features, then sit back and don't do the lab with us. If you understand, you can still give an interview correctly. If you don't understand and you're just doing a lab, then your whole time is wasted. Do something else, better do something else, right? So that is useful. So but the thing is that understand main thing, make sure. So I'm here to help, but we may not be stopping for half an hour for troubleshooting of your machine. Anyone's suppose stuck really bad, either we can troubleshoot that or we can go ahead, right? So you can also later you can follow the video and do the lab at your own convenience before next class, right? And but if you're unable to upload today because the time is midnight for upload, so you need to give me a reason that this is the reason why I was not able to upload today. So if your screenshots are not uploaded by midnight tonight, then it is considered late submission. But if again you think that you will need a lot of assistance for step by step while I'm doing the lab and you're doing the lab, then just message me on WhatsApp separately or email me, and I will just simply give you enough time, right? Because you are also not causing a lot of delay in the lab. Although we're here to help, well, but we can give troubleshooting time for 2 to 5 minutes. Otherwise, then I have to convert some of the topics to theory, and it's your loss, right? Not my loss. So the thing is, we need to go ahead, but I'm not saying that I'm going to ignore any request. No, I'm here to help. We're all going to help each other, right? At the end of the class, I can connect to your lab and simply fix it. Okay, so now there are questions. Mohammed Babakar says, where can I upload the screenshots? Yeah, Mohammed, screenshots will be uploaded on Blackboard. I will be creating that link to upload the screenshots on Blackboard here. So I'll be doing that at the end of the class, and I will give the link there for week 2. Okay, what else? Orang says, this is so scary. This rule stressed me out. No, Orang, we are here to help. I'm just saying that again and again. But it's just, reality. I'm just telling you reality, or everyone, that if it has to be job oriented, we need to cover all the labs, right? But we can give enough time to help you or anyone else. But then all time is being minused for any big lab that we may have by the end of the course. So that's the thing. I will not go fast. I will go slow. I will go as slow as possible. But yes, there has to be some kind of speed to go ahead, because I need to add so many labs here, right? So, but we are here to help. Don't worry about that. Okay, so let us go ahead. First of all, we're going to create the first machine here, and I'm just going to explain about that machine as well. So yet another diagram here. So the first machine will be in our VMware workstation. Inside that machine, it will be Windows 2016. Obviously, maybe you have already attached that. Second thing, so I would need volunteers as well here to remotely connect to others machines and fix that problem, so we could all go as a group, as a team together, and do as many labs, in-depth labs as possible, right? So previous batch was amazing. So many volunteers were asking, hey, anyone who needs me to connect, and then one would connect to on TeamViewer to another machine and fix the problem, and other would, if they were stuck, they would just ask me while I was connecting to some other machine. So we were all busy helping others. So that was amazing. Okay, guys. So here we're going to install 2016, and we're going to do a lot of customization here, right? So according to our lab environment. So let's follow me. Let's follow moi. Okay. So let's go ahead, and let's go ahead. What? Oh yeah. So let's go ahead to our Vmware workstation. Vmware workstation. Sorry. Okay. So where's VMware workstation? This is the Vmware workstation. But actually, I'm remotely connected to another machine in my house. So I'll just connect to that machine, and we will start. So you should be seeing this page here on your VMware workstation, right? Right. Okay, thank you for that reply. So, oh yeah, right. Okay. So here, create new virtual machine. I hope everyone's there. Okay. If you're not there, also guys, you can come to the mic and say, oh, wait, teach, prof, or say it, just wait, and I'll wait, right? Or you can say on the chat, wait, please wait, and I'll wait, right? Okay. So here, create new virtual machine. Everyone there? Anyone not there? So everyone must have started it, and they're there. Yay! And you see the home button here. If you don't see the home button, let me know. So let us click on create a new virtual machine. Yay! Okay. Once we click create a new virtual machine, whatever your version of VMware Workstation is, it's okay. Hopefully you've downloaded the latest one. So there's typical and there's custom. So let's keep it typical, and so no change on this page, and click next. Right? And once we click next here, so you can see that there is new virtual machine wizard, and there is installer disk, there is installer disk image file ISO, and there's a I will install the operating system later, right? So guys, there's a strange thing that happens to Windows Server 2016. It's strange. What happens is that when you install with this option, installer disk image, so click next, RAM, CPU, we select everything, network interface card. After that, when the Windows starts installing, it says that, hey, where's the license? So it's a trial version, but it still asks for a license, unable to retrieve the license. So there's a bug with that Windows Server 2016 installation. So I'm gonna start going the other way now to majority of you will get that bug, or even if minority of you will get it, we still have to stop them, right? So why don't we just go through that workaround? So I'm going to go through a workaround to install Windows Server 2016. If you use the regular way, you might see that error most probably, right? So I'm going to click that I will install the operating system later, and make sure that you remember where is your VMware. Where is your Windows Server 2016 ISO in your machine, in your laptop, right? So I will install the operating system later. Why? Because we're going for a workaround right now to avoid that licensing error. Although it's a trial version, it should not come. I don't know why it comes. So hopefully you have clicked that too. So I will install the operating system later, and then click next, right? So now once you're on this screen, obviously it's a Windows operating system, so we're gonna select Microsoft Windows, right? So what is this page for? So to me it says Windows 10 x64. So obviously what it does here is that it loads the universal drivers of Windows 10. I don't want my Windows Server 2016 to have the universal drivers of Windows 10, drivers for sound, display, and everything, right? So I'm gonna drop down this list and I'm gonna search for Windows Server 2016. Is there anywhere written Windows Server 2016? Is there anywhere written there? And here it is. Oh, I find it, and Windows Server 2016 right above 2012. I hope everyone was able to find it. Yes. Okay, thank you for that reply. 2016. And let's so now it's gonna select the drivers of or upload the drivers of universal drivers of 2016. So let's click next. Got it? Okay, here Windows Server 2016. Once you put that there, instead of this, don't click on location. Do not click on the second window. Do not click on browse. Do not click on browse. Right? So I'm gonna select this. I'm gonna select this Windows Server 2016. So first of all, it's your first name, not my first name. Your first name. Suppose your first name is long, so half of your first name then in that case. So your first name VM01 dash. And then that is Humber or Humber, okay, dash, and that is win dash, and today's date 21Sept 2020. So your first name VM01 dash Humber dash win, which is it's Windows, and it's 21 September 2020, right? So now if you have two drives, I have two drives in my desktop here. I don't want to install on C. You can go ahead and install in C, keep it there. I have a D drive as well, so I'll select only C and keep the folder structure intact, and I'm gonna just change it to D. In my case, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that if you don't have a second disk or you don't want to install this machine on a second disk. I want to install it on the second disk. In fact, let me just check that. This PC D drive, yeah, D drive has 163 GB available. Yeah, good enough. So I'll just close that. So you don't have to change that. You can keep it C. I'll change it to D. Hopefully everyone has put that name there. Okay, click next. Now there's that specified disk capacity here, and it is 60 GB, right? So guys, make it 200 GB. This is the virtual disk of a virtual machine that we are creating now. So 200 GB. Guys, suppose a question to you, if you have, it is in your laptop or desktop you're installing, right? So if your laptop or desktop physical disk has only 50 GB free space left, will that be a good idea to give 200 GB disk space for this virtual disk if your laptop or desktop has only 50 GB free disk space or 20 GB free disk space remaining only? But I'm giving here 200 GB virtual disk space, which will ultimately be created on your physical disk, which may have only 20 GB left. So is that a good idea or not? So you're saying? Yeah. No. So okay. Anyone else? Yeah. Not a good idea. Anyone wanted to say on the mic? I think there was a sound there. Okay, so it's not a good idea, yes, if you have very less physical disk space remaining there. But what happens is that I do have 365 GB drive C is okay. Yes, or it is okay. So what I'm explaining here is that you can give here 500 GB even if you have 5 GB free space left. Even if you not 5, if you have for 20 GB free space left, you can still give here 500 GB. You know why? So here there's a thing called thin provision. Thing called thin provisioning. So that is the concept that is implemented here. What does that mean? Thin provisioning or dynamically expanding means that whatever size you give here, it does not occupy that much space on the physical disk. It only occupies that much space in the physical disk which your software will take. Okay, what software are we about to install here? We are about to install here Windows Server 2016, right? So Windows Server 2016 takes how much space? 8 GB to 12 GB. So, and you have 20 GB free space left, suppose, right? So only whatever the software needs space, it's gonna occupy that on the physical disk. Thin provisioning means that, but it's not gonna occupy 200 GB. So that's the main point here, right? The other thing is called thick provisioning. Oh, I need to admit that, student. Thick provisioning. Oh man, provisioning. Serious. Whoa. Thick provision is exactly what we should not do here. Whatever size you give here, it actually physically occupies that much space on the physical disk. And thin provision is to save space, but it is slow. Thick provision is it occupies a lot of space, but it is fast, right? So thin provision, right now, it's not going to occupy this much space. It's going to occupy whatever the software you're installing. And it will only take, Windows 2016 will only take 10 to 12 GB space. So that's nothing, right? All right. So I'll just copy that and put that and put it in. So you would see that diagram as well on your OneNote. All right, so let us go ahead. So 200 GB is here. Single disk and multiple disk just means that suppose your disk, single file just means that your virtual disk is going to be just one single file, right? And what it's going to do is that it's going to, what it's going to do is that it's going to grow, right? So if this virtual disk as a one disk, anyone knows the extension of the virtual disk of VMware? Yes, you're right. It's .vmdk.
VMDK, yeah.
There you go. Thank you. So .vmdk, right? So that .vmdk, if you choose single file, it will grow. Suppose you put a lot of data here in the virtual disk, virtual machine, virtual disk. So it grows up to 100 GB and then 150 GB. So what happens is that it's just one file that grows and grows and grows and grows. Suppose it's a huge file now, 150 GB file. When you start copying it over the network, it's going to take a few hours, and there is no guarantee that you will be able to successfully copy that one huge single file over the network. But if you select this option, so it will divide this one file into 4 GB chunks of file. As soon as the file size becomes 4 GB, it's going to create another file 4 GB. It will divide all the data into 4 GB chunks of smaller files. The benefit of that is when you copy smaller files over the network, it will take less time to copy, and it will be guaranteed that it will get copied to the destination. So it's all about over the network copying a huge file, or over the network copying a divided file into 4 GB chunks of smaller files. Hopefully we understand what I'm talking about. So now this multiple files creates a lot of mess as well. There are so many 4 GB files. Normally I go for a single file here just to avoid the mess. Suppose we have to go inside the folder, right? So we see, oh, there are so many files there. Okay, instead, how about one single file and have a less messy folder? But we understand that difference between, hopefully, the single file and multiple files. But I'll just still select single file because I think I will not need to copy it over the network. I'll just copy it in my external drive and then take it somewhere. So in production environment, you can check it out, but if this option is there. Okay guys, so I'll stick to single file, but hopefully you understand what is that, and click next. So here, what do? We go to customize hardware, yay! So remember, if I no click, you no click, otherwise you will learn the hard way what it meant. Okay, so let's click that customize hardware. So once we click this customize hardware, so you can see that this is 2 GB. Now, I think everyone has 16 GB RAM total. Now, this first virtual machine has a lot of things to do, right? Active Directory, DNS, DHCP, and so we're going to give it 8 GB RAM now, right? So just temporarily, we're going to give it 8 GB RAM. Later, when everything is done, we're going to give it 2 GB RAM later. But right now, 8 GB RAM, right? So, and then second thing is the processor. There are 2 processors, so that is okay. Number of processors 2, number of cores per processor 1, which is okay. No worry about that. Then there is CD DVD. Okay, we're going to come back to this. Obviously, we will attach our ISO of Windows Server 2016 here later. So then there is network adapter. So the only change till now we made is 8 GB. But then we come to network adapter. So network adapter, we got 4 types here, right? So those 4 types are, first one is bridge. So bridge means that your virtual machine will be exposed to your physical network. What does that mean? Suppose you're in your company and it's a security sensitive company and they don't allow any machine there. Excuse me. So what happens is that you without approval, you just open your laptop and then open the Vmware workstation and then you select bridge and then you start your virtual machine that you created last night inside this Vmware workstation inside your laptop, which is a company laptop. So if you selected bridge, this virtual machine can be communicated from any of the other virtual machine in your network, physical network. So monitoring software would pick up your virtual machine as well. Anyone wants to connect from, suppose, another office in your network to your machine. So given the right IP address, he or she can connect to your machine. So bridge just means it brings your virtual machine to your physical network. It will get an IP from your DSL router here at home or in the production environment. So we're not gonna bridge our machine here. Bridge also gives you internet connection because you get an IP from your DSL router at home, right? So NAT is the machine is behind this NAT protocol, network address translation, and you get internet connection while you're having your private IP from your own DHCP or VMware Workstation DHCP, right? So NAT just gives you internet connection. So host only means that this virtual machine will talk to host only. What does that mean? Host only means what is your host? This laptop, this Windows 10 or Windows whatever you have. This is your host, right? So host only means that this virtual machine can copy paste software from the host to virtual machine and virtual machine to host, right? And then custom comes. So in custom, what happens is, suppose you go for custom. So there are actually 19 networks here. 19 what? 19 networks. And they act like VLAN. Okay, anyone knows what is a VLAN? What does it do? What is the purpose of a VLAN?
Create segments over a network.
Yes, exactly. Create segments over the network. So VLAN would be that if you have a switch here and you have 8-port switch, Hopefully everyone has, majority of you have gone for CCNA. So if you have 8-port switch here, wow, okay, and each port connects to one computer, second computer, third computer, and then fourth computer, fifth computer, sixth computer with a wire, right? So this computer can copy data to this computer as well because they are connected to the same yes, broadcast domain as well. So this computer can copy anything here because they're connected to the same switch, and this computer can copy anything, any data to this computer or this computer. They're all connected to each other, right, over the network. But then you decide that no. These 3 computers on this side will belong to VLAN 2, and these 3 computers on the left side will belong to VLAN 3. As soon as they're part of the VLAN 1 by default, right? So if these computers are on VLAN 2, they cannot communicate with VLAN 3. So you can create a segmentation or a separation that even you computers are connected to the same switch. We just had a separation created between you. Now you belong to VLAN 2, you belong to VLAN 3. If there are different VLANs, you cannot talk to each other. So that's the same story. Yeah, reduce broadcast domain, this channel says. So this is the same story with that. If you create 2 virtual machines, suppose with VMnet2 and 2 virtual machines with VMnet3, so VMnet2 virtual machines cannot communicate with VMnet3 machines, right? So cannot. So this means that if you want to create 4 machines, and you have to choose some kind of VMnet here or network. So if they're all, suppose, on VMnet 15, I don't know why I always choose VMnet 15 for no particular reason. You can choose any other. The main thing is all virtual machines that you want them to communicate to each other must belong to one VMnet. Either VMnet 15, all 4 machines, or VMnet 13, all 4 machines, or VMnet 19, all 4 machines. If they are on different VMnets, they cannot communicate. If they are on same VMnet, they can communicate. So hopefully we understand the purpose of this custom option there, right? So it works like a VLAN. All right. So I'll just put the... Okay, so here right now our Windows Server 2016 is actually so it's a trial version, right? So we're going to temporarily connect it to NAT. Why? It's a trial version. Trial version gets expired after 10 or 15 days, right? So we need to activate it for 6 months or 180 days. We need to activate this machine and the next machine. So how does it get activated? Whenever you install a trial version, the trial version connects to the internet, and if the internet connection is there, then it downloads the activation files, and those files activate this Windows for 180 days or 6 months. That is more than enough. You can use all the features for 6 months. After 6 months, then yeah, it expires. So that's why we need to temporarily put it on NAT. Later we're going to go to custom and VMnet 15, right? We're going to give any one VMnet there for all 4 machines later, right? So keep it on NAT for now, and LAN segment is that you can just start, stop, restart your virtual machines together. It just groups the machines together, or you can just segment a group of networks or LANs. Okay guys, so I'm gonna stick to NAT here. So the one change we did on the top was we gave 8 GB RAM. Second change we did not do any because by default it was on NAT. And USB, sound card, printer, display are all okay. So if you have done 8 GB RAM and NAT, so let's take a screenshot of this. Yay! Oh, how to take a screenshot? You go to Snipping Tool or you do print screen. And guys, when you take a screenshot, you have to title that screenshot. So let me give you a sample screenshot on WhatsApp, and then you will see what am I talking about. So this screen here, I'm gonna take a screenshot here. Right? Oh, okay. I'll take a screenshot again. So this screenshot here, then I'm putting it on WhatsApp here. Okay, first let me just put it on your, so screenshot 1 equals creating your first name VM01. So that's the name of the screenshot. And where's the screenshot? Enter Control V. This is the screenshot. So I'm just giving you that 10 screenshots will be there. Every screenshot will be titled with a name. So you need to have 10 screenshots of wherever I ask you to create a screenshot and title them as well. So this is screenshot 1. Obviously there is seriously, you know what, my name was appearing there in the background, but it's not appearing here. Your name should be appearing there, but first screenshot is okay, don't worry. If your name is not appearing, every screenshot must have your name, right, in the background. If it's not appearing now, it's okay, or you can just take it again. But I'm just going to copy the screenshot so you could have a record of it in your, you know, this, that's it, in the, you know, WhatsApp as well. So I'm just going to copy this from here and paste it in WhatsApp, which it is not pasting. Are you kidding me? Okay. Okay, I'll go here. I'll take the screenshot again. I just need to put it on WhatsApp as well. So this is a screenshot 1 that you can follow up if somebody is falling behind that, oh, what was the screenshot 2? What was the screenshot 3? So all sample screenshot with titles are there. It's just that don't use my screenshot. It has to be your screenshot with your name very clear there. Okay, so somebody, and yeah, you don't have to put that screenshot on WhatsApp, guys. Only I'm putting it to show you. You can save your screenshots with you, and at the end of the class, what you need to do, you need to copy that screenshot in MS Word and upload that MS Word on the Blackboard where I'm going to create a link at the end. So just keep collecting screenshots now. At the end of the class, just put them in MS Word. Give your full name to the file and the course name, course name there, right? And then upload it to wherever I ask you to in Blackboard. There will be a link there. So keep collecting your screenshots now with titles, and your name must be showing there. Okay, so one screenshot done, 9 remaining. Either the time finishes till 10 or screenshots finishes, right? Then class finishes. So, okay guys, if you have selected this 8 GB and NAT, and remember that we did not give an operating system yet, right? So what I'm going to do it, I'm going to click close.
Hi, Amir.
Hi.
Yeah, sorry for interruption. So I took a screenshot and now I need to collect it. Like, I can copy in the paint option and then.
Yeah, then ultimately you have to put it in MS Word file. Ultimately, so just put it anywhere here in your laptop now. But you have to copy everything, all the screenshots in MS Word file and upload that MS Word file.
So doesn't matter, it's showing me 2 screens because I divided my laptop in 2 parts. One is I'm watching from you and one I'm doing.
Okay, sure. As long as the exact configuration with your name is showing there, that's okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. There was another one, another question from someone else. No? Yes? Maybe?
Yes. How will my name show on the screenshot? I can't find my name on the screenshot.
Okay. See this?
It's just showing me this hardware page.
Actually, you're right. Hey, how come it's showing? It's not showing any. Yeah. So the first screenshot, as I said, is not there. You know, I was gonna say, hey, see this my name here, but that was another machine that I created some time before. So yeah, there's none. So right now there's no name. It's okay.
Okay.
All right, guys. So, but yeah, guys, don't try to write your name yourself. That's not gonna work. So right now, this is this screenshot without name. It's okay. So guys, here, if there are any questions, let me know, or any comments, let me know. Okay, so there are some comments there. How does your name show in the background? Oh, there were so many questions there. I didn't see that. Can I see what did you write there? Oh, Okay, now you must have seen our already, right? And how does our name show? Yeah, it does not show, so that's my bad. Oh, actually, W. So this channel, after creating, Anumita says for what first one name won't show. First one name won't show until we create. Yes, you're right. No name. Saf says you can leave the VM wizard in the background. It has your name. Oh, okay. Minor says yes, the virtual wizard shows your name. Is fine. Label word. I'm just reading all the comments now. Olatunde says label word and paste in word. Okay, Olatunde. Yeah, that's what we're not gonna do. Don't label in word and paste your name, because ultimately your machine, your name should be encoded in the background. In next screenshots, you will see the name actually showing there in the machine. It has to be a name of a device. You cannot label it, right? Okay. Chang says I don't know how to capture a screen. Guys, how are you capturing the screen? Are you using Snipping Tool, or are you using? Okay. So Anumita says Snipping Tool. So Chang, see this? You can click this search here in Windows 10 on the left side, in the search, and type SNIP, snip. So you will see this snipping tool here, right? Snipping tool. So just go to search and type SNIP or snipping, and then once snipping tool is appearing here, then you click it. Once snipping tool is here, then there's a new button here. Windows plus print screen. There you go, another one. You can with Windows key and print screen. And new, when you go to new, then you can choose the screen here. Suppose you chose here up till here with mouse dragging, then you leave it and it becomes a screenshot. Okay. So from screenshot, I remember one thing. 10 courses ago, a batch was releasing, and we used to teach in our class. So the guys wanted to have a picture on some cup for everyone. So they took our picture, I took the picture of the class. Then he was asking me, sir, can you send me that headshot? So this means shot of the head, or the picture of the head. And I was like, hey, you want my picture with my head shot? So like my head shot with a gun or something, or do you want intact, my head intact, in one piece? So yeah, that was funny. So, but he insisted, no, I need your headshot. So, so I was like really scared to death from that guy.
Said Amir, there is another option called step record. What will be if you use that one and just send all the steps in one picture? Is that possible?
Yeah, I used that way back actually. So first few pictures are okay. After that, it stops taking. I don't know why.
Okay.
So, but you can test it and then let us know that all 10 pictures were there or not, right? It keeps on taking pictures in the background, which is very good, but at certain time it just stops without warning. Alright guys, so if you have taken a screenshot here, let's click close. Let's click close, right? And once you click close here, so that's it. Let's click finish. Remember that we did not put our ISO till now. So let's click finish here. So once you click finish, you will see it like this, right? So close, finish, and this. Now what we can do is click power on. Now you know that there is no operating system, right? So click power on. Do we all see exactly what I'm seeing? EFI VMware Virtual SCSI, EFI VMware Virtual SATA, EFI network.
No.
No?
It's set timeout.
It says cannot connect to virtual device
Oh, that. Press yes to that.
01.
Press yes to that.
Yeah.
After that.
It's a EFI network. Just put 3 not.
Oh yeah, this one that I'm seeing, or kind of this one, right? So, alright guys, first thing I'm going to show you that we can change the EFI is the advanced version of BIOS, right? Basic input output. Did I say basic input output per second? That is IOPS, input output per second, right? So power on self test. Oh, sorry. Serious? What's wrong with me? That's just the brain of the computer. BIOS. Okay. So yeah. So guys, see this? right click, power, and oh, seriously, no, you know, it's going for boot normally here. In fact, guys, mine just went automatically to this. Do you also see the same thing? Yes.
Yes, we do see the same thing.
Yes, mine too.
Okay. So it
Yes.
yeah, it automatically went to that, right? That's good. Now what we can do is we can, while it is alive here, right? We can right click here. See this? We can right click here and go to settings and do what? Simply map the ISO of Windows Server 2016 to the DVD and come back here. While it is running, do that, right? So right click here, while in the background it shows blue, click the settings here. Once you click the settings here, this window should open in front of you, right? Okay, so
Said, sorry, my machine is not showing the blue screen, so can I go ahead and attach the ISO?
yes, still attach the ISO.
Okay.
And
Okay.
guys, you can show also your screen by taking a screenshot of your current screen. What do you see in the WhatsApp group? So we could all see, and I will tell you also, oh, do this, and you're good, right? Anyone who's seeing different,
Okay.
you can also take a screenshot and upload on WhatsApp. Okay, cool. All right, guys, here, if you go to CD DVD, the fourth one, CD DVD, fourth one, and on the right side you see use ISO image file. You just need to browse and see where did you do you have your Windows Server 2016 ISO file. Where do you have that? So I'm going to click use ISO image, and oh yeah, Mamilo, press yes to that. Yeah, I said that before as well. Yeah, press yes to that. So, yep. So Mamula has shared a picture on WhatsApp. This is the way you can also share a picture, whatever you're seeing there, right? Okay, so use ISO image file and click browse. Once you click browse, all you need to do is, you know what? What do you need to do? Just go to your Windows Server 2016, right? And oh yeah, I'm here. That's my 2016. So your 2016 should be selected here. Hopefully everyone was able to do that. Yes. Okay, thank you for that reply. So now we're going to, if you've done that, press O and K. Press OK. So see how slow we're going. So once you press OK, you're still seeing this boot normally or boot to this. Now guys, about VMware Workstation, this is the mouse you're seeing, or this is the hand you're seeing, right? So if you click on top of this screen here, it will go inside the virtual environment. If you want to go out of this virtual environment, what do? You press Alt Control key. So see this, if I click on top of this, now I don't see my cursor there. So if I press on keyboard Control Alt, and it comes back, right? Control Alt. So click inside, Control Alt, outside. Click inside, Control Alt. Let's do that till 10 o'clock. Inside, outside, inside. Oh, just click. Okay. So yeah, here I have clicked on top of the screen, and I'm going to press down arrow. See this? Down arrow, down arrow, down arrow, up arrow, up arrow, up arrow. Again, that's another game. Down arrow. Okay, anyway. So, guys, do you see this CD-ROM here? Yes. Okay, thank you for that reply. If you see the CD-ROM, you have the ISO already mapped to the CD-ROM. You've selected the CD-ROM here. Tell me what to do next. Quick. What do? We press
Enter.
Yes, there you go. We press enter, right? So select the correct CD-ROM. Well, there's only one. So select the CD-ROM here, select the CD-ROM and press enter. Everyone got it? So press enter and go ahead. I'm just waiting here for everyone to go ahead. I think everyone is there now. So I'm just gonna press I don't have the Windows ISO. Ouch. Well, Gabriel, then, well.
So even if I hit enter, nothing is happening.
So down arrow, up arrow, you are able to do?
Yeah, I'm able to still do down arrow, up arrow. I'm hitting on enter.
Hey, that's strange.
No.
See this? I just pressed enter.
Yes, same thing here. It's not, the enter key is not working.
Yeah, even I'm not able to remove my cursor. So even if I hit control and alt, nothing is happening.
Oh, control alt is also not working. Ouch.
Yeah.
Yes. Twofold. Guys, okay. If you press enter, it's taking me back here. And you see there, press any key to boot, right? And I'm back here again. What do I do? Well, for those who are there, then Sylvester, let me just also deal with the issue that you have, right? So if I press enter, you have to press any key on the keyboard quickly at this time so it could go ahead. Otherwise, it's going to keep on coming back. If I press enter, now hit any other key on the keyboard so it would go and start installation of Windows Server 2016, right? Oh, there are multiple, there's many students where enter is not working. So press enter and I'm pressing any key. And it takes me.
Enter is not working for me as well.
Okay, guys, there's another way. So, guys, oh, Control Alt is working. Control.
Yes, but enter is not working.
Okay. Control Alt is working for everyone else as well. Mine started Windows Server. Okay, for those it started. Good luck. You can go ahead. For those it did not start, right? So, guys, see this. Oh, no, Control Alt, I had to disconnect the mouse. Save says, I had to disconnect the mouse. Well, mine is Bluetooth. So you disconnect the mouse and connect it again and it works. Guys, this means that Control Alt doesn't work. Then maybe you have a function key in your keyboard, FN and Control Alt, although that in my case it doesn't work. Okay, guys, I was gonna show you that how to avoid that. If you can get your mouse there, right? Right click here. For those who got the mouse, there's setting. Also Sylvester, you can also do Control Alt Delete, and I hope you will get the mouse back. Control Alt Delete.
Yeah, should I
yeah.
Open Task Manager or something?
Yes, Control Delete and then Task Manager, and by this time you should see your mouse there, because it's gonna.
Yeah, but it's still not working. The mouse button.
Mouse is not working, even outside of your virtual environment.
Oh yeah, it's working now. I disconnected the mouse. Yeah, it's working now.
Okay, so in that case, right click.
So if
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna show now.
If enter is not working, what do we do?
Yeah, so see this, and if enter is not working and your mouse is out now, so right click here and go to settings. Once you right click and go to settings, so hopefully Sylvester is also following there, and
yeah, I was able to get it now.
Okay, so then what you do is, guys, there's an option here. When you go to hardware, there's an options tab here as well. Hopefully those who are stuck are able to find that. Under that, if you go to the end of the options, see this, options, and down here. So this needs to be, UEFI needs to be changed to BIOS. Obviously you cannot do that if the machine is powered on. So you have to power off the machine and just simply change this to BIOS. So let me do it for with you. I cannot do it right now. I'm just going to cancel from here. I'm going to right click here and power, and there's a power off button. Hopefully those who are stuck, those whose Windows is installing, go ahead and you need to choose data center. Those whose Windows is installing, you need to choose data center, or wait for me, just wait if you're not sure what I'm saying. So power off, right? So those who are stuck, now what you can do is right click again and go to that same place. You will be able to change from UEFI to BIOS. All don't have to do that. Those whose Windows is working, go ahead. So, or wait for me in the next page, next screen, wherever I came. So settings, options, advanced. Now I'm able to change my BIOS. So that's one thing. Don't press OK. We're here, right? BIOS. I need to show. Now we need to just simply make sure that the Windows ISO is also attached. So first you put BIOS and then go to hardware here. Just check your CD DVD here in the hardware tab if it is connected to Windows Server 2016 ISO. Just make sure. If it is, then press OK and power on. Right? Hopefully everyone, those who were stuck, were able to follow this one. Options, change UEFI to BIOS, hardware.
Yeah, I was able to change it.
Cool. So I'm just going to press OK here and power on. Okay. Normally at 8 o'clock we get a break. But let's just start the Windows installation. Like there are some options there that we need to cover. As soon as it starts the long installation, then we can take a break, right? So see this, guys. If you're on this,
Yes.
you're good.
Yes. Yes.
Very good. So see this. If you're on this window, there is a change that we can do here. If you missed it, suppose some of us went ahead and may have clicked next, then it's okay. You can just change the time zone later. So, but the middle one, time and currency format, right? So there, we need to just go for English Canada, right? So click up, 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 up. Wow, every country has English. So English Canada. I see this. What's the benefit of that? It just fixes our time zone, right? Eastern time zone. It just fixes that. If you forgot to do that, it's okay. When you log in later, just go to the time zone and correct your time zone at that time. So I'm going to click next after selecting English Canada. So next, obviously nothing here other than install now. So click install now. English Cameroon, yeah, which is also okay. If you want to go with that. So English. Okay, guys. So you can see here 4 versions. Just go down to the bottom one. 2016 data center evaluation. Make sure it is desktop experience. If you had selected the first one, suppose you went ahead and you click. So the first one is not graphical interface. First one is command line interface. You have to give command. So if you selected first one and it started installing, then just start over from the beginning, because we don't need CLI version, command line interface. We need a graphical version, desktop experience version. So here, the fourth one we're selecting and click next. And I accept the license terms. Next. Since we're not upgrading from any, so we're going to go for custom. So let's click custom. Right? So we're not going to partition our disk here. So we're going to click next. That's it. So once you click next, it starts. And yes, last option, Raman Joe. So it's a last option, desktop with desktop experience. Yeah. Okay. So once you're on this, now we take a break, right? So do you want 15-minute break or 20-minute break? Majority.
So say it. What about us? I just stopped there. I didn't turn off my window. I thought you come back to same steps. So right now I'm here. Okay, I'm gonna send the screenshot. Sorry.
So Gabriel, I have put a link there on OneNote for downloading the operating system.
Outside.
Right?
So you said we should click on upgrade install, right? Not custom install. Oh, custom. Okay, thank you.
What's
And,
Yep.
and then I click on next.
Exactly, yeah. And then we take a break. Yay.
Right now, I should choose enter. I don't know. What should I do?
Where?
I didn't finish it. So I just sent one picture in the WhatsApp. Just could you see it? It is Windows Boot Manager. I just stopped there. I didn't turn off my
Okay.
my software. Whenever you go out to show the BIOS to the student, I didn't turn off it. I just waited for you. I don't know what I missed really. So right now I should say it's set Window Boot Manager, Windows Setup. Should I just put enter?
I'm just waiting for the picture.
I just send in the group.
It's not there.
Yeah. So let me send you a nice picture. I think that one.
Yeah, so maybe other group got it. Oh, there you go. Wow, that's a lot of pictures. That's a whole photo shoot. Oh, hey. Now there's so many pictures from others as well. Okay. Oh, there you go. So Gabriel is also there. Yes, language is English, Canada, Gabriel. And where's Orang? Oh, Orang. So press enter. Yeah, press enter.
Just press F8.
No. Press enter. No, not F8. Not F8. Press enter. So guys, this is good. You can just send the screenshots, and I can tell you right away what to do. And I don't have the Windows ISO. So Anamita has shared the link. Gabriel, thank you, Anamita. Oh, actually, Gabriel is already installing. That's cool. So, but thank you for sharing. Okay, so yes, next. Oh, there you go. Hey, I forgot it was a break for me. Okay, let me take a break.
Accept the license. Sorry, I know it is your break.
It's okay.
Fine.
I will sacrifice it. Okay.
So should I check mark the I accept the license
Yes,
term?
you have to.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Now I'm gonna run for a break. Ha ha ha. Okay, guys. So here, what we were doing was we were installing the virtual machine. Let's get going. And well, hopefully everyone's virtual machine should be on this page. And yeah, so we normally I have a class password, and that class password is this. That you can just write small abc, caps abc, keep pressing shift, 1 2 3 gives you exclamation at and pound sign, and then 1 2 3. So oops, it's a small abc here, capital ABC. So this is what I call a class password. You can use your own password, but the thing is that don't forget that password, right? So if you want to use a class password, you can do that. Otherwise, use your own password, but don't forget it. I'm just going to go back here and put that class password here. Small abc, capital ABC, shift 1 2 3 without shift 1 2 3, and then small abc, capital ABC, shift 1 2 3 without shift 1 2 3. Now let's click finish after giving a complex password, and then in order to go inside, you need to press these three buttons here: Control Alt Delete. You don't have to press the Control or Delete on your keyboard. Just press these 3 buttons and it will send the Control or Delete. Or Control or Insert after clicking here actually gives you this screen. Control or Insert, or better, these 3 buttons. Okay, so the password it's asking again. So small ABC, capital ABC, shift 1 2 3 without shift 1 2 3, right? And enter. So once it is logged in, so we need to make some customizations here.
Say Amir, sorry. It's control Alt Delete. It take me out from all the computer, not only in the screen. So not only in the.
Yeah, you can press escape. And yeah, Orang. So that's why I was saying that just click these 3 buttons, the 3 white buttons on the top left here. You can just press these 3 white buttons, and then it will be okay. And so once we're inside, hopefully everyone's inside, we need to do some customizations, which I will just first line it out here. So customizations in the your first name VM01. So there it would be install VMware tools, turn off firewalls, and change lockout idle time, and install shared folder feature, turn off IE enhanced security, and then after this what we can do is well, before that, even before that, make sure that you see on the bottom left, right above the clock, the message for 180 days. Okay, so Omo is showing. Where do I click here, please? So you can press cancel, Omo. Well, that's what's written there, OMO. Oh, okay. So just click cancel. It is. And once you click cancel, oh yeah. So then you should be seeing your screen. Oh, 842. Oh, Anumita. Oh, you got this. Any changes made to your computer won't be saved. Ouch. Windows cannot install required files. Make sure all files are required for installation. So Anumita, you could download another operating ISO. I think this ISO is. I started again. Now I'm getting this. Oh, okay. So Anumita, just go for. I'm just looking, guys. I'm looking at the other screen on WhatsApp with some error screens there. So you can go for the second one, partition 2. Hey, why are you showing 4 partitions here? I hope you're not installing that on your laptop and you're installing that only inside VMware Workstation. Why are they showing 4 partitions? Strange. Primary, oh sorry, just select the primary partition there. Select the primary partition there, which is partition 4. Not sure why 4 partitions are there. Okay, so let us go ahead. So let's do all this. So guys, once you're logged in, so remember that your network card of the virtual machine was connected to the internet or NAT. So you have internet connection already, and what you will be seeing, I'm going to show you that how it shows there, or how it activates for 6 months or 180 days, right above the clock, you know, bottom right. Oh, bottom left, sorry, did I say bottom left? It's bottom right. So let me just show you what I'm saying here. And if the server manager has loaded here on this screen, server manager has, this is server manager, right, this page. So I want to minimize the server manager, right? So let's minimize this server manager. So this will be the desktop area, right? So hopefully you can see on the bottom right this message which says Windows Server 2016 data center evaluation, Windows license valid for 180 days. So it as soon as it detected that it's connected to internet, it downloaded the file. The trial version is supposed to do that. Automatically downloaded the files, and then you see this 180-day activation. So does everyone, so take a screenshot of this message. Screenshot number 2 would be, if you see this message. If you don't, then make sure that you see that. How do you see that? Don't have it, dash channel says. So see this, right click on the desktop area after minimizing server manager. Right click the desktop area and refresh like this. Refresh, right click, refresh, right click, refresh, right click, refresh, right? So do you see that? This message here. Okay, anyone sees that? Okay, Desktop says no. Silverstone says yes. Safe says yes. Okay, Mahinur says yes. Deepshika says yes. Orange says yes. No after refresh. Desk Channel only is saying no again. Desk Channel, do you have? Okay, everyone else says yes. So, Desk Channel, is your network card on NAT right now? Desk Channel, also click this E, Internet Explorer, this E, and check if you can see Trump, right? This means if you have internet or not. Because on internet, when we go, we just have to see Trump, right? Trump is covered so much. So if I click that, close, and there you go, no Trump. So make sure you have internet first of all. Going to any site, make sure you have internet. If you don't have internet, obviously you will not see this message. Okay guys, so while you know, I do get that communication from Desk Channel or anyone else, so you need to take a screenshot. Let me just give you a sample screenshot here of the screen. So I'll just now, are you able to see your name there? So I'll just try to, yes, there's a name on the machine, right? Is my server is not good? Oh, okay. If internet is slow, Desk Channel, and then also it would not appear. Keep refreshing or restart your machine again once, and then it might get that message or those files for internet. Restart your machine again, Desk Channel. So guys, do you see your name now? So take a screenshot of this name where this name is showing while this message is also showing. Make sure your name on the machine name is showing here, this one, and your screen, and this is also showing in the screenshot. So machine activated is the title for this. Machine activated is the title. Oh, that's the screenshot. I'll just make sure. So I took a screenshot. I'll try to put arrows there so to let you know that this should be showing and this is showing. That should be in the screenshot. And I'll come. Okay, Chang is Chang, power on your machine. Chang, why your machine is shut down? Click the power on button. Okay, so I'll just put that quickly in your screenshot in your OneNote, yeah?
Because my virtual machine cannot start the installation process.
Okay, when it starts, whatever error you get, please can you take a screenshot of that error and upload here?
No, and I use it at another computer.
Oh.
So
Okay, so you cannot power on? Is that what you're saying?
and I can power on, but I not see the start installation button. So
Oh, I need to remotely connect to your machine, Chang, but can you, well, if you're stuck and you cannot go ahead, check if ISO is attached. Oh, okay, Deepshika is saying that can you check if your ISO is attached? Did you attach the Windows Server 2016? No, you did not, because it says auto detect there. So if I just drag this screen here on the front, so see this CD DVD says auto detect. Normally it should say or show the Windows Server 2016 there.
okay.
So click here, edit virtual machine, and then go to CD DVD and browse and attach the Windows Server 2016. So nice troubleshooting, Deepshika. So okay, let us go ahead. And yeah, so screenshot name is this, screenshot 2, activation done, and the screenshot should show the name of the screen as well as the that message, right? So I'll just put that screenshot 2 here, so those who want to have that record in WhatsApp as well. So okay, let's go ahead. Oh man, serious. So I cannot copy from here directly to anywhere. Seriously? Okay. Well, it's in OneNote, guys, so try to check it out from there. So let's go ahead, guys, and it's in OneNote, and the screenshot title is in WhatsApp as well. So now what we need to do is I'm just going to click that again, and here there's a list of things that we needed to do, so let's do that. First is the VMware tools. So where's that list of things? I just wrote here. So make sure that you see on the bottom right when it is this is done. I'm gonna green it, make it green, and then let's install VMware tools and restart. So normally this VMware tools requires a restart, right? So let's do that, restart, install VMware tools. So what is VMware tools? It enables advanced features in your virtual machine. So it's the lifeline of our virtual machine. So for any virtual machine you deploy, you must install VMware tools for that, right? Okay, so if I go back here, so how to install your tools, let me just show you that. If I right click on the top here, see this here, and I hope everyone sees this, install VMware tools. So right click here on the white area of the virtual machine and go to click install VMware tools. Hopefully everyone's seeing that. I didn't set name for my VM. Zedalim, why you did not set a name for your VM? I think you joined late, I guess. Zedalim, see this? You can right click here. See this on the left side? Maybe you are seeing your machine, virtual machine on the left side. Just right click here, go to rename this one, Zedalim, and just put at the start of it your first name, VM01.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you.
Okay, so guys, we were putting VMware tools. So right click here and click this. That's it, right? Once you click that, there will be a pop-up coming here or here, top or the bottom. I'm gonna not click that pop-up because some of you might not see it. So I'm gonna go to the yellow folder or the file explorer and go to the D drive. So once you click the install VMware tools, it mounts the file of the VMware tools to the DVD. Files of the VMware Tools to the DVD of this virtual machine. So I'm just going to click that now. Once I click that, so I'm going to go to this yellow folder or File Explorer. Although this pop-up is coming, I'm just going to deliberately miss it. So I could show you that if those who missed it, where can they go? So I'm going to click that yellow folder here, and then go for this PC. And you should see in this PC a big VM gray icon. This is the VMware Tools that has been mounted to the DVD of this virtual machine. So you just need to double click that. Go ahead and double click this. Hopefully everyone was able to find it. And okay, Ramanjot says no. So Ramanjot, go to this, see this? Right click on top of the white area of the virtual machine. When you right click, did you click the VMware Tools here? If it says cancel, then don't click it. Anamita, what happened? Oh, okay, because of that. Are you installing inside VMware Workstation? It looks like you're installing on your laptop this Windows Server 2016. So that's very strange. Seems like that you're installing directly on your laptop. So you're breaking all the world records there. Okay, so Ramanjot, you got it. So okay guys, here once you double click that, you can see there's a pop-up at the bottom of it, right? So you pop up at the bottom, right? So once you click that, this is it. Welcome to the installation wizard for VMware Tools. You need to next install, that's it, and restart. So it's a simple routine, but it has to be, it must be, it's very critical. So next to, nothing here, keep it typical, and next to, and then install, right? Okay. So there's a at the end. When can I get the key? Isaac, this is a trial version, so there is no key for that. So I'm just gonna, so guys, it's just finished, and just click finish and restart, right? Just click finish and restart. It opened with me as a folder. Mine says. And then I have to choose setup for it, setup 64. Yes, so choose setup 64. Yes, with all default settings, Ramju. So I'm just gonna click finish share, and it's gonna restart. So go ahead and restart. Right? Finish, and yes. Okay, it's restarting with VMware Tools. So for me, it has restarted with VMware Tools. So I'm just gonna click those 3 buttons there again on the top left here, like these, and I'm gonna log in again with the class password, which is small ABC, capital ABC, shift123 without shift123, and press enter. Okay, so 2 customizations are done. One is that it has been activated for 6 months. Second is that it is now having VMware Tools. So guys, what we need to change here, let me just put it here as well. So VMware Tools are also done. I'm just gonna put the color green here as well. These is also done. And one more thing here, since we got 180 days, so we don't need internet anymore on this machine. We do not need internet on this machine. So
hello teacher.
Yeah. Hello.
I still cannot start the installation now. I can share my screen to you. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well. The thing is that I can help you out at 10 o'clock now.
Okay, okay.
But if you can show a screenshot,
Okay, sorry.
if you can upload a screenshot, I can tell you what to do. Okay. So let's change our NAT to VMnet 15. Now we do not need internet. Now we do not need internet connection for your first name, VM01. So guys, how do we change that to? How do we change it to what? How do we change that to VMnet 15, right? So that's the next thing. So if you have restarted from your tools, or maybe it is restarting on your side for your tools, you can still do that while it is restarting, right? IOG is on. So why is the machine is shut down? You can power on. Go ahead and power on the machine. Okay. So I'm just going to change the NAT to VMnet 15. That's our next step, right?
Professor, are we using VMware VMnet 15 for any particular reason, or just VMnet 15?
Well, there's no particular reason for using choosing VMnet 15, but we do not need internet, so we're gonna stay away from bridge and NAT. After that, you can choose just host only. You can choose any of the VMnets other than NAT or bridge. So
I just wondered why we were choosing the number 15, or if we can choose any other VMnet.
You can choose any other VMnet just to be consistent and having same configurations. So my suggestion is let's just choose VMnet 15, or if everyone agrees 16, or if everyone says 19, so up to you.
I was wondering if there's any special reason.
Alright guys, so let's go for VMnet 15 without any specific reason for that, and let's keep our configurations consistent or same. So I'm just gonna right click on top of that. How to change your VMnet from NAT to VMnet 15. How to change your VMnet from NAT to VMnet 15. So I'm gonna right click here on the top, hopefully everyone's following, and click settings here. And click settings here, and then we go to network adapter, and in the network adapter we can go to custom and VMnet 15. Well, in every course since last 4 years I'm choosing VMnet 15 for no particular reason, and it's not even my lucky number. So VMnet 15 guys, and that's it. The main thing is, suppose you go for some other VMnet, it's okay. Other than NAT or bridge, you can go for any other VMnet. Just make sure that all 4 VMs have the same VMnet. That's the only thing we need to make sure. So I'm just choosing VMnet 15, so I do not have to have internet anymore, and press OK. Right? So once we press OK, so this means that this option is also done. So I'm just gonna make it green as well. Now we need to turn off firewalls, right? So in production environment, in companies, normally it's according to the company policy. If the company policy says turn off firewalls on the operating system levels, turn it off. If the company goes against that, then do not turn off the firewall. So in one of the banks, their policy was, they had 2200 servers, and their policy was to turn off the firewalls on the operating system level, because they had so many other security software and tools there, end-to-end McAfee security there, and then IPS, IDS softwares there, intrusion prevention system, intrusion detection system, and then the main firewalls outside. So we're gonna turn off firewall here because we need to concentrate on the features and concepts instead of trying to check that wire traffic is blocked between the two machines for what reason. Sometimes firewall causes it as well, but very few times, but it does happen. So let's go to local server here, and let's click the local server, and then you see this public on. So I'm just going to click on, public on, And once you click that, so the two profiles, private networks and guest or public networks, are green. We need to change it to red, which means we're gonna turn them off. So on the left side, you see turn Windows Firewall on or off. So we're gonna click on that and then turn off for the both profiles there. So I'm just gonna click that now. Turn off and turn off. Yay. Okay. So let us go ahead with press O and K. And close and refresh. So refresh this so you could just see that. So guys, about turning off firewall, suppose you see an interview there. In the interview, if they ask about firewall, so don't say that my teacher told me to turn off all the firewalls, so I'm gonna turn off all your firewalls. Thank you. So don't say that in the interview. Thank you. Okay, so let's go ahead and refresh here. Now we're gonna check out that what else we need to do. So turn off firewalls here is green as well, and change lockout idle time. So what is that, guys? Normally, suppose you're working on one machine and then you went to the other machine, right? Other machine you worked 1 hour. So when you come back, you have it's because you were this machine was idle. There was no time, no work going on, so it will lock out. So you just have to put username password again and again. So this is annoying. We just need to change that. In production environment, you don't change that. Here in training environment, we're gonna change that. So where is that? So let's go down to right click here, this one on the bottom left Windows icon, right click on top of that, and then go way up to power options. Hopefully everyone's there. Power options, and then now if your laptop is not connected to cable, then it is balance is good. If your laptop or desktop will be with connected to cable, but laptop is connected with cable, then go for high performance. Better have high performance because the lab will get bigger and bigger in later classes. High performance and change plan settings. Let's click that.
Said, can you please repeat this step?
So here, see on the server manager, go down to the left side and right click on the Windows icon and go way up to power options, the second one from the top. Once you click power options, it takes you to this screen. So if it is on balanced already, then click it on high performance, and in high performance go to change plan settings. Let's click that. So guys, here it's on for 15 minutes. So let's so every 15 minutes, if it is idle for 15 minutes, it's gonna just lock you out. You have to just put your username password. Okay, so Deepshika says I'm seeing this. No, not left click, Deepshika, right click. So on top of this, if I left click, I will also see that, right? So I'm gonna right click, then I will see this on top of this. So that will cost you 10 samosas. I'll send the address of Scarborough Samosa Shop, which is Taj Mahal Sweets. No, okay. So right click here and go to power options. Yes, Chang?
Okay, I'm here.
All right. Oh no, actually your mic was off, so I thought you had a question.
Okay, and now I can share my screen to you, right?
Well, Chang, we have just 40 minutes more, 40.
Okay.
Then I'll remotely connect to your, and I'll just quickly configure your lab, right?
Okay.
So here, power options. I'm just gonna go to power options here, and then high performance here, and then change plan settings, right? So 15 minutes is there. Hopefully everyone's there, and then select then select the other one, high performance. and then change plan settings. High performance, change plan settings. Once you're there, so it's 15 minutes, so just slightly change it to never. So just go down to turn off the display, never, right? So once you have slightly changed it to never, then click Save Changes. So high performance, change plan settings, that's good, right? So if that is done, so I'm just gonna click that or make this green as well. And then we go for install shared folder feature. So what is that? Okay, so do we need to take screenshots for any of these changes? Well, I kinda forgot that. So, well, okay. Well, I will be letting you know after the install shared, but thank you for the reminder. Yeah, not for now. So install shared, so either the 10 o'clock or the 10 pictures or 10 screenshots, anyone finishes, then, you know, class over. So install shared folder feature. So the purpose of install shared feature is that if you want to copy the software from your virtual environment to, okay, there's a picture here from Mohammed, and Mohammed, you can click, oh yeah, you put never already, right? So you're good. Just click Save Changes. Or you don't see Save Changes. One option. Okay, I'll put the picture here. Turn off displays already never, then you're okay. So you're already okay. Are you inside the machine? Yeah. So yeah, if it's already never, you don't have to do anything. If it was 15 or 20, then you could have changed. So you're okay. Let's go ahead. And okay, so install shared folder is that you have to, if you want to copy from a virtual machine to, so if we want to copy from a virtual machine to physical machine or vice versa, so or from physical machine to virtual machine, then we use this feature. Right? So it's all about copy pasting from your laptop to inside your virtual machine, or from virtual machine to inside your laptop. It opens kind of a window between a virtual environment and a physical environment. So let's configure it and then check it out as well, right? So how do we check it out and configure it and check it out? Okay, so here I'm just gonna close all this. Close. Hey, did I actually change that? I'm sure I did. Did I have to click finish for the power options? Yeah, it's okay. So guys, here let's configure that shared folder feature and right click on top of that here again, and now we need to go to settings. So right click on top of that there again and click settings, right? And then what we can do is we can go to the options tab. Hopefully everyone's seeing options tab, right? So once you see the option tab, now you see this shared folders. Now this feature is going to be grayed out if you haven't installed and restarted VMware Tools. If you have installed VMware Tools and restarted, then you will be able to click it or configure it, right? So shared folders, and let's click always enabled and map as a network drive in Windows guests, right? So if you have clicked the always enabled and then map as a network drive in Windows guests, so I'm just gonna click the add button. Now it's gonna ask, hey, what folder inside the physical laptop or desktop do you want to map here inside the virtual machine? So let's click the add button here and then click next. So once you click the add button, and you click next, so there's a browse button. So this browse will take you to the outside the physical laptop. While we are inside the virtual machine, it's gonna actually show you the folder structure of your laptop now, or desktop. So let's click browse. So here it is showing now the folder structure of my desktop here. You would want to map that folder where you have all the software inside, right? So maybe if you see downloads folder here, right? So maybe all the software is there. So basic purpose of this shared folder feature is to copy paste software from virtual machine to physical machine, or physical machine to virtual machine. So you're mapping this downloads folder now to the virtual machine, and this downloads folder belongs to your physical laptop or desktop. I'm going to click that. It could be any other folder, but I'm just clicking downloads folder. Okay, so I'm just going to press O and K. Okay. So it should look like this now. C : users, your first name, downloads, or whatever name you have there. So click next. Wow, you guys are smooth. Amazing. Enable this share is okay. Read only, keep it unchecked, so no changes on this page. It's going to appear as a shared folder, mapped shared drive. If some of you may have created a network drive, so it's like that. Let's click finito. So now this whole screen should exactly look like that, right? So take a screenshot number 3 now of this screen. Take a screenshot number 3 of the screen. Shared folder feature configured. Shared folder feature configured. Screenshot number 3. So I'm just gonna take a sample screenshot for you so you could know that. And obviously your name is showing now there easily. So I'll just put some arrows there as well. So your name is supposed to be showing here in the general area, while that's it. The whole configuration should be exactly like that, right? So I'm just gonna copy that, and first I'm gonna put it on WhatsApp. Screenshot number 3. Screenshot 3 is configuring shared folder, right? Configuring shared folder, and then I'm gonna paste that screenshot, and there you go. So it's on WhatsApp, so you could see, and now I'm just gonna put it on OneNote as well. Screenshot 3. Okay, screenshot 3 equals configuring shared folder feature. Shared folder. Okay, that's it. And the screenshot. Alright guys, so once that is done, you've taken the screenshot of these configuration steps, then press O and K. Wow, everyone's going smooth. Amazing. Serious. Too quiet. Okay, so here once we are done with that, so if I could mark it out as well, so that would be another green here. So throughout the course, then we won't have to do that again. And I forgot to actually tell you something about this machine. This is not going to be our first machine. This is going to be our template machine, and we're going to create a clone, 2 clones out of this template machine. So I'm going to create that diagram again now, just to explain that why there's a plan change. So turn off IE enhanced security. Let's do that. What is this anyway? Turn off IE. What is IE? Internet Explorer, right? Enhanced security. So let's do this now. How do we do that? So if you're inside your machine and you see if you're in server manager here, then you're in local server here, right? Then you should see this IE enhanced security, and it is turned on. So what it does is, in your Internet Explorer browser, it just prompts you for a lot of things as a security warning. Are you sure you want to do that? Are you sure you want to go there? Are you sure you want? So it keeps on give annoying messages. It's very good to keep it on in production environments, but here for training environment it's annoying. So we need to consider it on understanding more complicated concepts there. So IE enhanced security, there's an on written there in front of it. Let's click that and turn it off. So I'm going to click on and off and off. Yay. And press OK. And then and fresh. Okay, so once that is done, so yeah, that is done. So I'm just gonna mark it out as well as green. Now guys, yeah, I need to then add one more thing. So all these settings are going to be for a template. Ever heard of template before? Template machine? What is the purpose of a template machine? Anyone knows? Yeah, what is it? Why do we use template?
So that we can clone different machine, because we have a template, so that all the specifications are already there, and then we can just copy all the configurations for different other virtual machines.
Exactly. Excellent. So yes, a template machine is used so we could make as many clone machines which are exact copy of the machine that we are considering as template. So why would we want to use template machine? Now suppose during on the 5th class or the 8th class I say, guys, can you create 2 more Windows machines? Instead of installing the whole Windows machine, then going through all these steps one by one, you would just simply create a clone or copy of a template machine where all this is already done. So you would have a machine ready, and you don't have to go through all these steps that we had to go through today, right? So it will be a machine that will be ready with all these configurations already done. So that's why we're going to consider it as a template machine. Now this means that overall, we're going to use simultaneously 4 machines, but this is a template machine. This is not your first name VM01. Actually, I was planning that first. Then I realized that, hey, we did not create a template machine first, which means now the ease of use will be, so this is a template VM, and its only purpose is to create clones. That's the first thing. Second thing is that it will save time, right? Save time for creation of more VMs. Third is that it will shut down, it will remain shut down forever. Why? In this software, VMware Workstation, the virtual machine the template machine is always remains shut down, and you can only create a clone when template machine is shut down. Suppose template machine is powered on, then you cannot create a clone, right? So it will remain shut down forever, and then we can make a clone. Accidentally, in order to avoid accidental powering on of this machine, we need to avoid that. We will give it 4 MB memory. This much memory is not enough to even start a machine, right? So Olatunde says, does template clone the OS on the VM2? Template clone the OS. Yes. So whatever we installed a Windows Server 2016. Then we did a lot of configurations. So all that will be cloned in that clone. Everything will be copied. Yes, the OS and all the configurations inside will be copied to a new machine. So that saves a huge amount of time. So here, in order to avoid accidental powering on of the machine, we will give it 4 MB memory. Right? So we're going to do that now. One more thing, since I did not start with the template machine, we have done all the modifications that we needed, right? But in order to make it a template machine, we must run a dangerous utility called, you must run sysprep on it and shut it down forever, right? So this sysprep, guys, be careful. Sysprep prepares the system. So if you shut down this machine with sysprep and keep it shut down, so all clones, so if we do this, if we shut down this template machine with sysprep, what will happen? Then all the clones are what? Exact copies of this template, right? Clones are exact copies of this template. If we do this, then all the clones will have unique SID. Oh, what is SID? Security Identifier. Oh, what is that? So it's a alphanumeric number like this, right? So this SID for every clone has to be unique. If it is not unique, then you cannot join this machine to the domain. If SIDs of two operating systems are exactly the same, then you cannot join them to the domain. You cannot work on those machines over the network with each other, right? So if you do this, then all the clones will have unique SID or security identifier, and this is so. Whenever you create a template, you will always hear this word sysprep, always, in any vendor. So VMware, Microsoft, everywhere, when you create a template, sysprep will always be there. So guys, we need to run sysprep now. After doing all the changes, we're going to run carefully, very carefully, sysprep on our machine inside VMware Workstation, right? So suppose two students have broken that record till now, that they accidentally ran that sysprep on their laptop instead of inside the machine. So what happened? All their software was broken, their operating system was broken, and they cannot start their laptop, so they had to format the whole drive and then reinstall the OS and reinstall all the software. So be careful about this sysprep now. So I'm gonna run it inside my VMware Workstation on that Windows Server 2016 and not on my laptop, right? Sysprep, and then we're gonna shut it down forever. So just exactly follow my steps. So we're gonna go back here. Hey, is everyone following? It's too quiet.
So, Amir, if you shut down it, how it works? So you're gonna shut down it. So how it's working?
Oh, yeah. So
it's a question.
Yeah. So when it shuts down, then we can create clones out of it. So our main purpose of creating this template machine is to create a copy of this machine that can work in the network. So we're not going to work on this machine. We're going to just simply shut it down forever. When we shut it down forever, or why do we even shut it down forever? Because you cannot create a clone of this machine if it is not shut down. You have to shut it down to create a copy or a clone machine, right? So that's why we're going to keep it shut down forever, so we could create clone windows which will be an exact copy of what we did, and all the configurations will be there. In fact, we're going to create 2 clones if the time permit now. And then we're going to continue on those 2 clones in the next class. But it has to be shut down to create clones. That's the purpose. Okay. Yeah. If I go back here. So guys, are we all inside our Windows Server 2016? So you can see there's a Windows icon here, and there is a Windows icon here as well. This is my laptop Windows icon, and this is my internal Windows Server 2016 icon. So do not start this sysprep on the outer Windows icon. Keep it on the inner Windows icon, right? So I'm going to right click inside the VMware Workstation, and I'm gonna click run here. Hopefully everyone is there. and the windows that is inside your Vim workstation, and then you type what? SYSPREP, sysprep, right? So we type sysprep. Yay. Okay, so let's press O and K. Once you press OK, it opens up a folder, that folder where sysprep really lives. So the path is C drive, Windows, System32, sysprep, right? System32 is a very critical folder of the Windows. So here, we're just going to double click it again. So guys, be careful, don't go ahead of me here or anywhere. So double click this sysprep and you should see this window opening here, right? So it just says enter system out of the box experience, which means that out of the box experience, or OOBE, means that make the experience of installation of or creation of clone as a user-friendly experience. That's it, right? So let's click generalize. So yes, make this as easy an installation as possible. Make this as generalize. That's one thing you need to do. And second thing is select shut down. Drop down and select shut down. So your screen should exactly look like that. So that's your screenshot number 4. It should exactly look like that. So ready to run sysprep. Was there a question? Okay. So, oh, did I say so? So, oh, I did say oh again. Yeah. Okay. Guys, is your name anywhere? Yeah, your name should be appearing here. The machine name is there, so always your name would be there. And I will click on that name as well, and the whole diagram here. Ready to run sysprep. That's the name of the screenshot. First I will just put it on WhatsApp. So screenshot 4 equals ready to run sysprep. We will only run sysprep on this template machine and never run it again ever, unless you're just creating a that template machine again. Okay, now I'm just gonna put that in here as well. So guys, yeah, we're pretty much ready. So go ahead and click whatever written there, finish or install, whatever. Screenshot 4 ready to run. So it's gonna automatically shut down after that, after running sysprep, right? So I'm just going to go back and so generalize and shutdown is selected. There you go. Press OK. Since sysprep started, could not take a screenshot. Somebody just clicked that finish right away without so you know, as Einstein says, if I no click, you no click. That is 10 samosas.
No, it didn't start, but that window disappeared. I don't know what happened.
So, okay, there is a very
Shall I do it again? Or
there's a very
because if I click on it,
no, I think it's clicked by mistake, which is okay. Don't worry.
I was taking the screenshot, so that's why it went off like that.
You know, some button acted like a enter button, so it's okay. And well, when it is shut down, just take a screenshot of this one now.
But it's not running the way it's ran on your monitor. It didn't.
The cancel was pressed, I guess. So
Shall I click it again? Double click on it?
Yeah, double click on it again. Click the generalize. Select the shutdown.
It is saying another copy of this application is already running.
Then go down and check that if it is already open in the taskbar. No, not the taskbar. Removable devices.
Yeah, it's there. Okay. Oh, I got it. I got it. I have to press OK.
Oh, I again pressed OK. Sorry.
Without screenshot.
I did it again.
So now this will be 20 samosas. Thank you very
Goodness.
much. Okay. So I'll send the address
Yeah,
of
sure.
Tajman Suites in Scarborough, and then my address. So yeah. So that's very good. I'll become much fatter now. Okay. So I got this message. Hey, I got a lot of screenshots. Is it coming late to me, screenshots, or you guys just send a screenshot now? Removable devices. Amir says, so press OK here, no problem. And then Orang shows a screenshot, which is also press OK, no problem here. I got the same. Removable devices, press OK here as well. So if you see removable devices, guys, just press OK. It's nothing. Go ahead and press OK, right? Alright, guys. Do never, ever power it on, right? Never, ever power it on. So we're going to prevent it to power on, because if you accidentally power it on, what will happen? You have to run sysprep again and shut it down exactly the way we just shut it down. It can only take 3 syspreps. After that, it's going to remove all your changes as well. So we will prevent it to be accidentally started even. So let's click this memory here. So let's double click this memory here. Go ahead and double click, or click the edit virtual machine, or click directly on the memory. And in the memory, do you see this one? Make sure the last 4 MB is the one that you're selecting. Hopefully everyone selected 4 MB here, and press O and K. Make sure you selected 4 MB, the last one, and press O and K. So now the screenshot number 5 would be that 4 MB RAM given to template machine. Screenshot number 5 will be, so take a screenshot here where 4 MB should be showing here, and just name it 4 MB RAM given to template machine. So I'll just make a sample screenshot here, put it on WhatsApp. Screenshot number 5. 4 MB RAM given to template machine. Template machine. And there you go. So I'll put it on OneNote as well. Screenshot.
Sorry, teacher, we lost you. Can I ask, are we already done with the system press?
Yeah, we're done with the system. Exactly.
We pressed the OK button in there.
Yeah.
Are we? You said we need to click run and sysprep, right? And after that we need what did we need to generalize. And are we done with the hitting the OK button in there?
So did you click generalize? Yes.
Yeah, I checked the generalize checkbox, and I clicked OK. And the system are powering off.
No, you were supposed to select shutdown in the drop-down menu. Below the generalize, there was a drop-down menu. You should have selected shutdown.
I should select shutdown in there, and the system automatically shutting down, and it's. And then you add power on this again, or what should I do?
So we're not gonna power it on, and we're gonna take a screenshot number 5. Did you take a screenshot number 5? After changing its RAM to 4 MB like this?
You mean after machine power
Yes.
off? We can change the memory from here,
Yes.
right? Okay, Without powering on,
Yeah, so it has
just
to be powered off, and then change the memory, right?
from 8 GB to 4 MB.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, now I got it.
So this is the 4 MB, the last one.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
So that's a very good question from Sylvester. Can we change the name to template? Yes, that's a very, very good suggestion. I was trying to speak in a French manner. Okay, so guys, we need to rename it. Although the actual physical folder name will not change, but on the left side, you can still change it. So that's a very good suggestion. Thank you for that. So guys, right click on this name on the left side here. Right click on this name on the left side here and click the rename. Click the rename. So instead of giving your first name VM01, it's gonna be your first name template. So make sure that you rename on the left side like this, your first name template instead of your first name VM01. Your first name template instead of your first name VM01. Hopefully everyone was able to do that. Your first name VM01, remove it, put your first name template. Then well, looks like in next class we're gonna create 2 clones. Yay! Okay, so make sure that you changed the name. So guys, after changing the name, take screenshot number 6. After changing the name, take screenshot number 6. Screenshot number 6 would be changed the name of template VM. Screenshot number 6 would be changed the name of the template VM. So I'm just gonna give that sample screenshot. So your name is now clearly showing there. So screenshot 6 would be screenshot 6 changed the name of the sample screenshot. Oh, did I say sample template screenshot? Change the name of the template screenshot. Okay, so that's the screenshot number 6 and the screenshot finale as well. So gather all the screenshots in MS Word document. Name your MS Word document as your full name and the course name. What's your course name anyway? Okay, and VMware. That's it, VMware. So screenshot 6 changed the name of the template VM. So that's the name of the screenshot and then the screenshot. All right, guys. So I'll connect to Chang's machine, and let me just create that message. Okay, let me create that. Hey, where's my course material? Oh, okay. So I'll create week 2. Ouch. Is that the one? Your course is 909, right? I think it's 909. Right? MSI 201909. Or is it 919? So 909, thank you. Hey, I didn't create the week 1. That is so strange. I'll go for edit, and week 1 is not 25th May because I copied everything from the previous. Hey, what was the date of the previous class? It was 14th September. 21Sept. Hopefully you've seen the video of the first class, or I'll just put that there. Okay. Yikes, I have to do some basic work here. It's hidden from the student, so that was 14 September, but let me just remove previous class things. Oh, slide one. Okay. I'll just go back here. Edit. Permit users to view this content, yes. Okay, so I'll just create the second. So week 1 should be showing there, guys, for you. So I'm just gonna go for week 2 now, and week 2 is 21 September, and there should be an upload link there. Week 2, 21Sept. Okay, so do you all see week 2 there? Yeah. Oh, okay. Thank you for confirming. So if you do see there, so I'll just create an assignment there for today. Upload week 2 and upload week 2. Just show your document with your full name, and so the deadline is tonight midnight, or if you can give a reason, then you can take more time. So guys, are you able to see week 2 there first of all, and then upload week 2 link is there or not, and are you able to successfully upload? So please confirm all that. Hopefully you are able to do that. Oh, it's 1 June is still written there. I'll remove that too. Okay, so Oren says yes, you're able to see week 2. You're able to upload your document with 6 screenshots there successfully. Hopefully you're able to do that. If you are done with that, bye bye, see you next week. And
it's gonna be separate picture, or just we should press browse my computer, just it?
oh, so
I think
you have to collect all the screenshots in a Microsoft Word document and upload the Word
package,
document
okay.
with the pictures. And yes, guys, you have to, the 7th picture has to be your smiley. So you have to take a picture of yourself and give a nice smile. If it is, if you're sad in the picture, you will lose 10 marks for that, right? Okay. Can we have link to today's lecture? The video you're saying, Jaswinder? Well, Jaswinder, I'm gonna create the video, like it takes 1.5 hours to convert it to MP4. Then I'm gonna upload it to YouTube. By tonight or tomorrow morning, you will see that there. And if you don't still see that by tomorrow morning, then you can also put on WhatsApp, hey teach, where's the video for week 2? But in the evening, I will do that. Oh well, after this, it will take 1.5 hours to convert it to MP4. Okay, so I'm just stopping the video and see you next class. Yay! Bye bye.